Make sure y'all can hear me. Happy Thursday. Eloquently petty, articulate assholery. My name is Marcus. This is the Keep It 100 channel. We turn this music down just in case y'all can't hear me. Bitches and niggas and bitches. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Appreciate that. This has been a long time coming. Got some guests. Man. It's been a long time coming, man. I don't know what the fuck is going to be said tonight, but this shit is going to be interesting, man. So this is politics as usual. We got my man Rob, Black Light Revelations in the building. You already know. And we got my man, the one and only Conservative, nigga. Straight out of BK. If y'all didn't know. That's all I'm gonna tell you, man. I ain't trying to y'all niggas nuts on the internet. No, it's a lot of conservative niggas in here. Okay? Lost a lot of conservative niggas in the space. I did this for you. A lot of people asked for this. I've been wanting to do this. Hood been wanting to do this. So here we are. We're gonna talk about some black man shit. Okay? Black man shit. Alright. Let me shout out some people before I bring them up here. Shout out to AB Promotions, my first super chat. Let's bring that up on the screen. What is this computer doing, man? Show the shit, nigga. AB Promotions, value chain, fellas. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you. Doc, I see you, man. Revelator, what's going on? Zentoba, what's going on? Ledger Time Processor, what's happening, brother? All right, let's see who's in here. Indigo, Deacon Dave. Hey, Deacon Dave, man, you stay your ass right there, man. You know, on my ass for this, you know what I'm saying, this conservative shit. ABS, Janadrian, what's good, bro? Detroit 313. All right, V, what's happening? Aaron P, what's good, bro? What's good, man? All right. What's going on? Who else is in there? What's it? Win Lesser? I don't know how to pronounce that. Shepherd Tracer, Win Lesser Rug. I think that's how you say it. What's going on, Shepard? Bray J, what's happening? Michael Gomez, what's up? What's up? Yeah, get the likes up. Nigga said get the likes up. Get the likes up. All right, so without further ado, man, we're going to get right into this, man. But this is the weekdays. And niggas got to work tomorrow. So I'm going to bring up my man Rob and my man, the Hood Conservative. All right. What's good, fellas?
Evening, man. Thanks for having me up. This has been like a long time coming. I feel like we kept planning this, but never actually planned it, though.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, right, bro? What's going on, Hood Conservative? What's up to the chat? Salute to everybody.
So, before I say anything else, my man Rob has a channel called Black Light Revelations. If you're not subscribed to it, go check it out. I brought these two gentlemen up here in particular is because they're very politically knowledgeable, very politically inclined. All right. So that's why I brought them up. Yeah, you need to check out Black Light Revelations. You know what I'm saying? I was telling them earlier, you know, motherfuckers listen to him like he's the news, man. So if you want to listen to some news that ain't bought and paid for, check out my man Black Light. And if you are conservative and you don't know, you're a black conservative, you don't know who conservative is on the internet, then you got problems. You need to follow this man. My man, one thing, Hood, you put together a very interesting production, man.
His server got some skills. He got some skills on the live streams, man. He got some good streams, man.
Oh wow, yo, I'm like flattered. If I was a white girl, I'd blush right now.
My man Hood be having me dying. It's done.
Wow, man.
It's done. It's done.
Wow.
It's done. All right, man. So for a minute, I met Hood through Bernard Riley. I would jump on Bernard Riley's panels, and we done had some of them have been some dog out debates on politics. Not necessarily me and you, but I'm just saying in general, like the temperature of the stream. I need to drag Bernard up in here one time, man. Bernard on his he about to be on his O'Shea in a minute.
What that mean?
I noticed that the whole channel restructuring thing, like he quietly moving into a different type of format. I respect it though, man. The bag is the bag.
Right. Shout out to Bernard. I'm all happy for it. Shout out to Bernard. That motherfucker got a whole newsroom set up over there. My man got the tie on. My man is, he's working. He's cranking out that Bernard, good shit.
He definitely got a good professional, solid stream setup. He's been going solid and consistent for a long time, man. I remember like when I first came across Bernard, he was at like 9K subs, and just by his consistency and work ethic and the way that he puts together a good engagement driven show, I knew that he was going to do real well. I'm glad to see him at where he is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So shout out to Bernard Riley. But what I feel like between you and Bernard, like you guys are conservatives that I can actually have a conversation with. I typically shout out to Lil Big Nate. He's a cool motherfucker, but my man sometimes, he's a little crazy at times, but I fucks with Bernard. And shout out to Sir Tice also. I meant to say Lil Big Nate, yeah. But so what we're gonna discuss tonight is I want to discuss politics as it pertains to black men in America. Okay, and the debates that we tend to have, whether it be on Bernard's channel, just period, is, why should black men be conservative? Not necessarily be conservative, because there are elements of my thought process that are conservative, right? And there are elements of my thought process that are liberal, right? But when what I mean is parties, like party affiliation. So why should black men vote Republican? And I want to kind of like revolve the conversation around that. You understand what I'm saying? So first, I'm gonna start with Rob. So Rob, what would you say your political position is?
My political position is independent, is interest based, policy based, whatever makes the most sense financially and as a unit. I'm not opposed to certain conservative, certain conservative politics, but what I do kind of take question to is having a quote unquote party loyalty. I don't understand where that's beneficial unless there's something that we're gaining specifically from being a part of that party. And from what I understand with either party, the right or the left, the Democrats or the Republicans, conservatives or liberals, there's no one that's given us anything specific to secure us as a voting bloc. So my thing is that if that's the case, then what we should be doing is going for self, which my thing is a question that I would like to ask the conservatives, hood conservative, or, even anybody in the chat that might want to, answer this question is what is being conservative doing to give us a specific gain in our demographic?
Well,
All right.
the traditional conservative position would naturally gain your demographic in the sense that strong family households organized around the strong man or the concept of male leadership naturally creates a population that is just more dynamic than, say, this matriarchal culture we come out of. It's more unified in a productive sense. It's not like unified in some chaotic, destructive sense, which is kind of what the black community is known for, really. And I think it produces something that's a little bit more respectable, broadly speaking. Like Black America, this is weird because I listen to, I'm subscribed to like the so-called, I call it white supremacy Twitter, but the part of Twitter that's, they make jokes about black folk, and I listen to the criticisms, and it's like, listen, if other groups can just collectively tease us about not having fathers, that doesn't make us look good. And so like when you just focus on the basics of things like that, it ups your respectability levels. And all these things would make you just more productive and more competitive on the whole.
Shout out to the conservatives in the chat. I see everybody's in here. I see Freeman's Journal. I see Carlton Banks. Yo, we done brought everybody out, bro. Yo, shout out to y'all. Before I ask you the question that I would follow up that answer with, Hood, what made you become conservative? Because most of us don't start out conservative. So what brought you there?
Honestly, I would say my slippery slope with family court, bro. I shit you not. That was the beginning of me hating the government like a white boy from the mountains hates the government. Like I totally understand that fuck the government. I just want to live on a farm and raise some animals and make babies. Like I get that now. And it took family court to kind of give me the exposure to like, big government or how the government kind of actually gets right in between not just a man and a woman, but a man and his children. Like when I realized how much of a role the government played in getting between me and my children, I was immediately amenable to any right-wing argument at that point, I think. And from there on, I just sort of started to see the actual logic of it all too. And I explored it and I looked for it and I got the answers I was looking for.
Hey, Hood, I don't know what kind of mic you're using, because Deacon Dave and I noticed it too. You sound a little low. I don't know if you're far away from the mic or is it
give me a second. I'm gonna switch out this headset. Give me a minute.
No doubt. So let me go to my audio. All right, that's cool. Yeah. Hey, Rob, I got to make sure that automatic mic adjustment is off. Motherfuckers won't be talking over me no more. That those days are done.
That's hilarious.
So check this out, right?
It sound a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit better. So, okay, so in terms of your answer to Rob, right? When you're talking about, family value structures and things like that, I think that's a great answer to why should we be conservative. You understand what I'm saying, Rob?
Yeah, because being a conservative doesn't necessarily mean that you're a Republican. It just means
right.
You have conservative values.
Right. So it's one thing to say, how does conservatism serve black men, which is that's why I kind of differentiated, because conservatism and being a party Republican is not always the same thing, right? So, if you were to ask me about conservative values, there are things that I think are valuable as far as having conservative views, but the question would be, what is the benefit to voting Republican.
Can
Yeah,
you
right.
you mind if I ask Hood Conservative
Yeah,
about the time frame point that he brought up? Now,
yeah. Go ahead.
Hood Conservative, respectfully, you said that the time frame came up where you realized that there was a lot of things that you were aligned with on the right as a result of your experience with child court, family court, right?
Yeah,
So
correct.
my question for you is, what about the time frame before that?
I guess I was just like culturally a Democrat. This would have been um during the Obama era, this because Obama lasted about 8 years. And I guess by the time the Obama era was over, I was over I was beginning to be over like black Democrat politics. I was pretty much sick of Obama. And then at the same time, in my personal life, like I got all this stuff going on. I'm seeing what the court is like in family court. And so that's giving me a window into a certain type of argument about how the government actually does mess things up. And so from then on, it was just, I became deeper and deeper into the red as far as like politics goes.
Now, my question in response to that is, see, like me, I've never been a Democrat. I've never felt the Democrats at all. And so my question would be, to me, all of the things that you said that you noticed as a result of how they affected your personal life, those things kind of affect black people, in specific black men, um, you know, prior to family court, right? So my question would be, how does someone fall into quote unquote Democrat politics?
Well, it's not even a fall in so much as it is like you just come up in it. So when
Mhm.
you go to school, almost all of your teachers are liberal to one degree or another, and single black mother household or whatever. So it's not like just naturally I'm gonna get a bunch of like masculine or right leaning political ideas floating around the house. Like I got, R&B music and the Essence magazine on the or the coffee table or whatever. So you just sort of naturally come up in an environment where the whole Democrat order of things is just how it works. And so like by the time an Obama comes along and I'm a full adult at this point, I had never even begun to question politics, right? It was just you're black, this is what we do, this is our group, and so you just find your place in that. But it takes a question like, why the fuck is family court even a thing? Like it takes a question that has a ground sort of shaking answer to kind of get you to look at everything else too, I suppose. At least that's kind of my story on it.
So, okay, so to compare childhoods, right? I grew up in a family where my mom was there and my dad was there. They're both still married, right? They were Christian, you know what I'm saying? And still Christian, you know what I'm saying? And they would, seem to side with Democrat politics, if we watching the news or, having discussions about politics or whatever, but they didn't vote. They didn't get involved in the political process because my dad never believed in the legitimacy of the government. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there are people that grew up in families like mine with a strong father, with like a patriarchal, dominating male in the family. And but they were religious though. And I think that a lot of the Democrat stuff, like you said, comes in terms of tradition. But to me, right? To me, I don't understand how somebody, and I'm not saying this about you in particular, so I don't want you to feel attacked. I'm just saying in general. I don't understand how so many people can go through life and not see that there's something very wrong with both parties.
No, I
Be-
get it. I get it because it's not even the parties, bro. You have to kind of realize something it's outside of politics. The things that are wrong have nothing to do with politics. Like
yeah, I agree. I think they
we
filter into politics. I agree with you
right.
100%.
A
Yeah.
a moral people will create a moral politics, right? So we have an immoral politic because we are an immoral people. And that's really the deep heart of it. So I had, as like growing into like Republican arguments and understanding the right wing ideas, and then having that contrast of being able to look back and look at the way I would see things before, I begin to now see the flaws and the holes in certain things. And so you realize, like, damn, there are issues in the heart of how you see things growing up. Like, and I would talk about this with my actual personal friends and my homies or whatever. Like, bro, you realize everything we kind of learn growing up in the hood is like not useful outside of the hood. Like, these are the things that kind of keep you unable to compete once you get away from here. But it's like when you're in it, you don't know it, and you can't tell. It's really the Plato's cave thing. It really is a literal version of that. You have to kind of get an exposure to something radical to kind of see just how far away from where everything else was that you really were.
Do you know, like, you just created like part 2 and part 3 of this stream, like with that answer? You got the whole morality part, and then you got the part that you just said. All good interesting responses. You know what I'm saying? That I think could be expanded on as completely other streams, because there's a whole lot to this whole thing. You know.
Oh yeah.
Well, as much as like you asked me about my conservative origin story, I guess you would call it, and even though I would totally acknowledge it came from like a reactionary emotional place, I found the logic of it, and that's kind of what allows you to take it into other places like that, because there is a sort of logical connection between all these things. And so this is why, even though I don't like, I'm not a Bible thumper, I have a great appreciation for it because I understand it a lot better now, and it's sort of tied into my worldview. I can make sense of things through a biblical perspective, and it's like you kind of have to see the logical connection between all these things. Like life has a lot of connections, and there's a lot of through lines with a lot of things, but you have to sort of see the logic of it, and then you realize the sort of chaotic nature of, like, the whole matriarchy, the single mother household, all that. It really is not seeing the logic and just existing outside of just seeing the logic of things.
Okay, so where I sit is pretty much where Rob sits, right? Where, there's because I think for the most part, us on this panel and everybody in the chat pretty much agree that voting Democrat ain't shit for us. Right? The funny thing is, no matter how many times I say this, people will still consider me some sort of Democrat because I have questions or criticisms of the Republican Party. Okay. My position on the Democrats is sealed in signed and sealed. Like, fuck them. Okay. The thing about voting Republican, to me, the only thing I see, unless somebody's going to tell me something else, the only thing I see that may be a plus to voting right is so that the left respects the black male vote, because they take it for granted. Right? The usual thing I hear is, well, get off the Democratic plantation because they're taking advantage of your vote. They're taking your vote for granted, so they don't give you shit. They don't offer you shit. But yet, when you move over to the right and you say, well, what do I get over here? Right? That's when people are asking you, well, why are you expecting something, motherfucker? Like, you want something? They don't owe you anything, right? So wait a minute, hold on. And this is where the confusion starts happening. It's like, okay, I left from over here because they wasn't giving me shit, and I'm coming over here and I shouldn't expect shit. So both places are telling me that I don't deserve shit, shouldn't expect shit, this and that. One place is saying, well, if you don't vote for us, you ain't black, right? You ain't a black motherfucker if you don't vote for us. And Hood, I totally agree with your assessment of how black men come up, you know, in on the left. Like you grow up. Like part of black men being Democrat is might as well be the same as how niggas is Christian. We grow up in a Christian household, we vote Democratic, and that's just what it is. Nobody asks questions. When I was growing up, you know, I'm from New York, just like you. It's what? Republican, right? Nigga, what? Right? It's just part of black culture that you vote Democrat. That period. You vote Democrat. That's just part of being black, right?
Well, and then there's a media machine that kind of shames any thought process away from Democrats. Like if you look at, you got Carlton Banks in the chat. If you look at how NBC portrayed Carlton Banks as just, you know, goofy nerd, you know what I'm saying? Despite the fact that he was actually doing the right things. If you compare watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a child, who would have better outcomes in life? Clearly, Carlton Banks would have a better outcome in life than Will Smith. He was about intelligence. He was about being in a lot of those academic clubs at the, you know, Bel Air Academy or whatever it was that they was going to. He was technically doing things the right way. But Will was the character that everybody liked. You know what I'm saying? Carlton was the one that was portrayed as doing things backwards and upside down. It's the same thing as like the Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel is the guy that everybody joked about, but in reality, he'd have been the black Steve Jobs. The Democrats using their media network are portraying this message to be an idiot, be flashy. You'll get some type of immediate reward from that. Don't be intelligent and don't be smart or articulate and involve yourself in other politics or business, and everybody will make fun of you. You know what I'm saying?
You know, this kind of ties into the conversation. Well, it's not even a conversation. I was just doing like a hour. I did like just a show earlier on my backup channel. I'm kind of trying to split my channels up to have like a political channel and then a more manosphere red pill type of thing. So anyway, I'm on my political channel earlier, and I was speaking in terms of black people's relationship to a particular ethnic group in this country. And I think I can make almost that exact same type of argument and remove the ethnic group and just say black people's relationship to the Democrats and the social and political left of this country, right?
Well, the Democrats, if you ask me, are equivalent to that ethnic group that you're talking about. So if you say vote
I'm
blue,
not trying to go there.
who, I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to go there because this is
I'm with you.
This is a whole nother guy's channel, and I don't want to do that because you know it messes up the algorithm, and you know you get things coming at you. So
that's why I didn't say
wait, hold on. We talk about small headwear.
Teeny tiny, the tiniest of hats, bro. But all I'm saying is our relationship with that ethnic group can very well be just swapped out for the political left because they are one and the same, like you were just saying, bro. Like I'm totally with you. So the thing is, after 80 years of us being tied to this social political movement, to this social political culture, you guys are doing well. Like the people who run the politics, the big families of the politics, right? The big families of like the social political culture in general. You're doing well, but my people, broadly speaking, are not. Like y'all got fat while we starving. You know, y'all strong, y'all organized, y'all got buku money just coming out of nowhere. You're literally printing goddamn money right now. But the rank and file black person and members of the black community, so to speak, are in disarray. The men and the women are at odds severely. Men and the women barely want to actually be men and women. There's confusion about the nature of what it is to be men and women. And it's like all these ideas that lead to all this confusion and lead to all this dysfunction and disarray, they are ideas that come from the political left and the social left. So have we really benefited from this relationship when previously We had a completely different social and political orientation, heavier Christian representation, we were almost known for social cohesion. Like at one point, if you go by the numbers, we were even more married by per capita than white people. So we totally not only traded political allegiances, but we stabbed ourselves in the back in doing so. And so the whole question I laid out earlier today about this ethnic group, but again, we can make it about this political and social orientation. Have we really benefited from this relationship? And I got to look around at all the unhappiness, at all the disgruntled men and women, at the little illiterate bastard babies that are taking over the cities. And I got to say, we probably didn't do so good in this deal.
I don't think anybody here would disagree with you. My point is, why can't anybody sell me the right without talking about the left?
Not because I'm not just selling you the right. I am actually selling you your hatred of the left. I can't separate the two. I can't sell you the right without convincing you that not only have you been stabbed in the back, you've been getting stabbed in the back this whole time. It didn't just happen with you. So like, it explains a lot about your position, not only in life, but in the world over time. You've been sold a lie, and you've been sold a lie by the people who are telling you to be angry at everybody else.
I got you. We agree. I don't think that's a point that has to be pushed necessarily. Rob, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to elaborate onto your question about selling the right versus selling the left, right? I'm going to put that into perspective, and I'm going to ask Conservative this question. I agree with everything that you said just now, right? Now, here's my question. The problem with alignment to one of two groups is that both groups are heavily funded by the AIPAC. Which goes
you're getting into an area. I agree with you. I know where you're going, and it saddens me. And this is why to answer to a question that wasn't quite asked, but I was dying to make this point when you're asking about like political affiliations, and I think you Black Light Podcast, is that the name? Because I'm a little bit unfamiliar with you.
Black Light Revelations.
Black Light Revelations. Okay, excuse me. Because you were saying earlier that you're not really a part of the Republican Party, and I feel you, because lately I've been kind of expressing that. Like, I lean heavily right, but I guess I'm more almost far right, honestly, when it comes to certain things we'll probably bring up later. But I think I have some kind of far right views on certain things, and I'm more like a far right independent. I'm not pro-Republican as a party for reasons you kind of just alluded to. Like, everything's corrupt, man. Everybody's sold out, and Black people being conservative isn't necessarily it's not me pushing Black people to join the Republican Party, because what I have in mind, it's more like the Republican Party needs to be dragged back to sanity as well. It's just that Republicans by nature are way closer to it, though. There's no arguing that. If you had to pick one side, I mean, look, basically look at it like this. Both sides have sold out, but at least one side still believes in you being a man. Like, you're going to be bought and paid for, but you'll be a man bought and paid for, right?
Yeah, but
and
the thing is that they claim to believe that, but then like all of them always get in trouble for, or either they end up getting exposed in some scandals. So like what the left says, what I'm saying, the right is hiding, and they're doing behind closed doors until somebody opens that door. Then it's a whole. Then it's a whole news report about it. But I get what you're saying.
That's acceptable. I think that's acceptable. Look, there's going to be people who let you down. There's even going to be people who are just into weird stuff and they got to get exposed. There was a guy, it just happened. I hate to bring this up in this kind of way, but I have to say it to make the point. This guy recently is like a Republican, I don't know, a governor.
Yeah, he was somebody locally that deleted himself.
Right, because he got found out. This is acceptable. I hate to put it like that, but this is acceptable, bro. You was way out of pocket. You know damn well if you're gonna be trying to live that life while Bible thumping
and
you finally got exposed, right? And now that you got exposed, I am not complaining about how you went out. All right, that was the samurai noble thing to do.
Another thing that interests me about black Republicans, not necessarily the politicians themselves, but black Republicans, right? And let me go back to my starred comments. So let's start here. So Deacon Dave says, I don't want nothing and I don't want to pay for others' handouts either. Right. So let's talk about that for a second, right? Um, America was a handout for white folks for a long time. Like this shit has been the fucking pantry for resources and other shit for white people for a long time. Oh, I'm just now seeing this super chat. Shout out to Electrician 480. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Glad to see you in here. Right. So let's go back here. He says, I don't want nothing and I don't want to pay for others' handout. You already paying for handouts. You paying for a handout to Ukraine. You paying for, the tiniest of hats, like Hood Conservative likes to say. The funny thing is, I only ever hear the word handout associated with black people. Right? We don't talk about, white folks getting all this aid and shit like that now. I'm just saying.
Safe injection sites.
I mean,
right. So
bro, don't make me be the white defender up here, but I will, damn it. I will, just for the argument, because do you really think being given raw natural land out in the wilderness that like literal actual Indians, not the motherfuckers that you gamble with, but actual Indians who might like scalp you and do weird things to your corpse, like you really think that is comparable to like a food stamp card?
They did way more than that, bro.
You
saying they just gave out just Indian land? Come on.
No, I mean the idea that being given what essentially amounts to raw land that you then have to somehow, some way make a living out of, somehow equates to what black people are asking for with like reparations, where it's basically like, give me money. Black people are saying, give me a country. Bro, it's not the same.
Hold on. How about this? How about, right? All the years that niggas got their own shit and got it took from them, right? See, it's not so much that niggas want shit. How about don't take our shit that we get ourselves? Like for years and years and decades and hundreds, there's white man need to get out the fucking way. How about that? Like it's not even as much as we need you to give us shit, but when we get shit, leave us the fuck alone. Leave our shit.
No, I'm with you in that sense.
They done
think that we gotta focus that type of argument. Like there are literal actual people and individuals who can sort of trace that claim back with paperwork and make it a whole argument. I would never get in their way, but it's not a collective thing, bro.
Go ahead, because I was going, because I'm seeing, there's this real quick, Rob. There's this idea that, because black men or black people, there's this pride shit. I don't need shit, right? And I get it to a certain degree. But then you turn around and if you think that all these white folks, they get all these loans and grants and all of this, you see all this white business. Handouts is mostly white. So all this black pride about, oh, I don't need shit. Don't give me shit. Niggas don't deserve nothing. While white men are being handed free shit daily. Fuck the Indian reservation. I'm talking about now, still today.
I need to hear where the white men. Tell me where the white men are lining up to get some free shit, and I will stand in line myself behind the last white man. I will stand in line wherever the white man is waiting to get some free shit. How dare this white motherfucker keep me out of this line of free money? Let's play that game. Tell me where it is, bro.
Owsley County, Kentucky, for one. But
explain this to me.
Owsley County, Kentucky. Explain Owsley County. Look up the statistics as far as welfare and as far as any kind of government utilization.
That's not what I mean. Benefits. I mean like a specific legal statute, some kind of program that the government's got that's giving white men money.
No, it's not gonna be, bro.
Where's one for
You
black
can't
people?
do that. You asked the question. This is the end. No, you wanted to be a certain way. You wanted to be one way. No, bro. White people get free shit.
But besides
Been
that,
getting free
right?
shit.
Let's just assume that
What are the specifics though? We can't see.
but there
Don't tell me to have this black conservative conversation and you're gonna give me these liberal arguments that white people just magically get free money.
Why,
From
wait, hold
where?
on, hold
From
on.
said that?
Why?
Who
Wait,
whom?
hold on,
said that?
wait. Why is that a liberal argument though?
Well, it's a black liberal argument in the
Why?
sense that
But who said
white
that though?
people just magically have things and black people are magically denied things, and that explains
Nobody
the
said
huge
that.
difference
Wait,
between the
hold on,
two
Nobody
hold on.
situations.
nobody
That is
said
a
any of that
very
though.
Nobody
liberal argument. And I'm like,
no,
no, stop assuming that white people just magically get money from the government. Shit,
nobody
I
said shit
haven't
about
seen it
magic.
work that way.
Nobody said shit about magic.
Well, I mean, it's not magic, but assuming that the government is just giving white people money, like prove it to me before I just accept this like argument.
Continue, Rob, because I
Well,
mean I could go, but
yeah,
continue, Rob.
the first thing, right? We That's a different argument, and we can go back to that argument, and I'll be more than happy to give you specifics, because the thing is that when most of these government programs come out, they're offered to the general public, and you have to fit certain criterias. And in many cases, the majority of people that fit those criterias are white. So most times the government doesn't just make race specific policies. However, because of the way that the criterias are written, white people benefit from them, just like how white women benefit the most from affirmative action. But that's
Thank
not
you.
something that's talked about very often. So the thing is that if we're doing politics, while we're sitting up here shaming ourselves about quote unquote handouts, the expectation is that we hand out our votes to either one of these parties for free. So
Right,
the irony in this is that we're having this morality argument about what we shouldn't get when we're
right,
supposed to be voting to get shit. First of all,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Then second of all, right, let's just assume that this argument of, people getting shit for free is okay. Everybody in the comment section and everybody on the panel, how many of your parents had full access, your parents or grandparents had full access to the United States economy? Let's not talk about the land or anything like that, but how many people were able to integrate into the economy? And
I don't even understand your framing of this concept. What do you mean? What are your metrics for access to the economy?
access to the economy, Jim Crow, were your parents affected by that or not?
Well, I mean, my grandmother more than likely, yeah, but my mom, I doubtful, no. And this is
So your
more an
mom was
issue of
born
time
after,
than, yeah, this
right?
is a
And
time thing.
so right, and there's a such thing as time value of money, internal rate of return, net present value. Money
Right.
appreciates, compound interest.
Right. Your richest families in America benefited from that. Let me read this super chat real quick. Merch was good, bro. He said, "What use is calling yourself a conservative and your mind is already seared in liberalism? 4 out of 5 black men that call themselves conservative are just progressives begging for policies and handouts." All right.
Yo,
Thank you for
listen,
that
shout
super
out
chat.
to Charles Merchant. Listen, I was on this group out there that was calling themselves conscious conservatives. This is a while ago, but I noticed that very phenomena that Charles is talking about pop up. There have been a lot of people lately that are on the right, black people that are on the right, kinda, but as you probe and ask questions and get to the heart of the matter, they just kind of disaffected Democrats. That's really what it is. And so this is why I said I think I'm far right. I think I'm trying to see if I can be a black far right guy. It's hard, but I'm working on it.
So the golden capstone says, "Bro, what do you know how many people of color? I'm he, really how many people of color government programs and grants exist?" Rob, you want to dismantle this?
Name all the groups that are people of color.
None of
Because
them are
we don't
white though.
tonight.
That's the
Tonight's
point.
conversation is about black men.
But
So
none
that
of them are white though. That
No,
was the whole
no, there's
reason why
no,
this whole thing
nah,
came up.
nah,
Remember,
nah,
I
there's
asked
no white
you
people of color.
we not.
I asked you guys who are talking about white people getting things for free. I asked you to be specific about whatever programs or wherever they were getting these things. Who's giving these people money under what pretext, and you haven't really named anything other than affirmative action goes to white women, and I'll accept that. However, when it comes to the black version of that argument, you can point to things that just disproportionately go to black people, even
Like
if it
what?
doesn't say black. For one, the welfare system.
Fuck the
Black people,
welfare.
by number, black people do not contribute enough to the welfare system to
So,
pay for our welfare.
so let me ask you this, right? Because you know a lot of my tax dollars go overseas into the military. But let me ask you this: what are black people getting from the government in the to the tune of wealth? Because earlier you mentioned land, like that's some small shit, and it ain't. Land is not a small deal by a long shot. So if they're giving white folks land, you can't just dismiss that like it's some little shit, all right? And then say, oh, they're giving black people welfare. That's a big deal. Welfare ain't wealth. That's not wealth, right? So what I'm asking you, because you kind of like kick,
and we also didn't say that white people just magically get money from the government. That was never said by either one of us.
No, I made that charge because you were being vague and how this money just appears. Because when the land issue comes up, right, when you say white folk got land, we're basically talking about the Homestead Act, right? Because outside of something like the Homestead Act,
the Dawes Act.
Okay, so how long ago were these things? Because there was a time when America was
money still being generated that is contributed to the gross national product of this country from that land.
Well, right. From the land, perhaps, but that's like theoretical, because you understand all the things that happen between now and then. Like you have to actually maintain it. And I guarantee you most of that land wasn't, because you're just sort of saying that as a narrative,
so
but not giving me an actual, you're not giving me an actual chain of events that you can tie to people and places. You're just giving me a story about land, and you're saying that over time, this land generates money. You assume that, but you never put a drop of blood, sweat, and tears into generating that time and money. And so you're just speaking theoretically about something that actually has a chain of and a process that works it out.
Hood, this part of the conversation was about handouts. I just want to bring us back to where we started. This part of the conversation was about handouts. And
right.
What
the point that me and Marcus was making is that everybody gets handouts.
Right. And what I'm saying is we don't call what we give white folks handouts. We call it other shit, right? But when anything black folks get, right, whether it be welfare or anything else, that's what they call handouts, right?
But that's the problem. We're talking about a Homestead Act and then conflating that with something like welfare or like cash reparations. And I'm like, bro, these are radically different things in times and places.
Cash reparations is a conversation. It's not something that happened. So let's not talk about it like it happened.
Fair enough.
And Elon Musk, what did just happen is he got probably about $90 million in government grant money to be able to use SpaceX and a contract with NASA.
Black people don't get government grant money?
No, we didn't say that they didn't. What we're saying is that you're the one that's making these arguments as far as black people don't get. What we said is that white people also get handouts. We didn't say black people don't. We said white people also get handouts, and that when we vote, we should expect something back for our vote.
Right.
That's literally all we said, and then it got turned into somehow we're making liberal arguments.
Elon Musk
narratives.
Well, see, I think black folk we focus too much on the false racial prism that we see through, and not the actual practical problem solving prism. And when it comes to something like Elon Musk that you bring up, you really think Elon Musk got all that money because of how he votes? Like that, this is the silliest conflation of ideas.
His parents owned illegitimate
mines
during apartheid South Africa.
Right, and so here's the thing: black people think power comes from politics. Power comes from money and organization. But we think we're supposed to get politically active, and that's somehow going to make us all rich. No, all of us will never be rich just by definition of human order.
So hold on. Those arguments. So it wasn't political policies that paved the way for some of this wealth that happened. You're saying, is that what you're saying?
Well, his family
Apartheid
comes
was a
from a
political
whole
policy.
nother yeah, that's a whole
No,
nother
but
continent. Like
I'm
he
not
brought that
necessarily.
money here, and
I'm
so
not
for him to
necessarily.
come here, like we're tying
Mhm.
so many things together now, bro.
No, I hear you, but I'm not necessarily talking about Elon Musk. I'm talking about, you kind of reduce land. Again, this is about handouts, right? You got people who, came over here from other places for years and years and years, and the government gave them some shit, right? Right? And then you had things that black folks accumulated on their own that were taken away from them. So you had wealth that was taken away from black people. Don't talk to me about welfare. That's a check for you to get by. Okay, that's not wealth. What I'm saying is you had black people who had wealth building shit that was taken away from them versus either white people that were here already or white people that came here on a boat or whatever that was given shit. So we can't, if this is historical fact, we can't then reduce that to, oh, some land in the wilderness that ain't worth shit theoretically. I don't want to do that, right? Now, no, there's if a white man walk in the bank and say, hey, I'm white, give me shit. I don't think that's the argument that we're making. But what we do, or what has gone on in this country, is that the path of wealth has been cleared for white folks. I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, right? Because right now, again, we're discussing handouts and black folks like allergy to this idea of getting something from the country you're paying into. We pay into this motherfucker,
Well, here's my question too.
and this we even without me mentioning slavery. Go ahead, Rob.
So my question is, so we shouldn't vote for the, and I'm asking you this question specifically, Hood Conservative. We shouldn't vote for the Democrats because of all of the issues that we all agree on about the Democrats. Because I think that that's something that we're all in favor of and in agreement of, is that there's issues with the Democrats, and the Democrats are fundamentally horrible for black people as a whole. But at the same time, we should vote for Republicans and not expect any policies from Republicans. So my question is, what's the difference between not voting with the expectation of getting a policy and voting for the Republicans? I don't see a
No,
net change
I
in
think
that.
that's a misdiagnosis of the solution.
Okay.
Don't assume that you're not getting a policy. Just don't expect to push a racially specific policy. And this is a
But
problem
neither
that black folk.
neither one of us said anything about a racially specific policy.
Well, that's the only real thing that's on the table when it comes to black people and Republicans. So, I
Not
mean, you
really,
didn't say that, but well,
but
black people want black specific things, and almost by nature, the Republicans are a little bit less open to that kind of idea.
well, let
And
me
not
let me.
for nothing, let
Okay.
me just point this out. Black
Mhm.
people have swallowed a poison pill with racial identity politics because you've invited so many other people to eat at your racial identity table.
No, we didn't invite shit.
Yeah. I
People,
don't
we
The
didn't
three
invent.
of
Hold
us
on.
haven't. The three of us haven't, but
No, no, no,
we
no, 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 no.
have as
Hood,
a black
hood, hood,
people. We
hood.
have, yeah.
We no, we didn't invent terms like people of color or special interest groups or whatever. They create these programs, and then they don't make it about black folks. They make it about these vague descriptions so they can slide the benefits to other people.
That's the
Okay,
poison
right?
pill, and
Minorities, right? So
I'm
listen
telling
to
you,
what.
that's the poison
Hey, Hood,
pill.
Hood. Let me jump in here for a second. Now, a second ago, you said something about race specific policy. All right. Now on the left, the guys who we shitting on tonight, they pass a lot of race specific policies. Okay, well, or protect this group or protect that group, right? When we talk about race specific, the one of the first things I would say is, because you got gender specific policies. You know what I'm saying? You got extra gender specific policy. The thing is, there are issues, and Deacon Dave, I hope you're in here, because this is the part of the conversation that we're going into. There are things that are specific to us. There is. But what I'm gonna say is this: what we're asking for from the right, and this is, I've said this on Bernard's channel all the time, is equal protection under the law. Because what's on paper is one thing, and how laws are carried out is another. We talk about your stand your grounds, your Second Amendments, a bunch of different things that are not equally adjudicated for black men like they are everybody else. Now, you got examples of it happening that way, but a lot of times it doesn't. You understand what I'm saying? So let's talk about that. I don't think that, that is too much to ask for, because the first thing that comes up when black men say, well, what do we get from the right? Oh, you want some shit. Like we want like money or give me some tangible thing. No, we want equal protection under the law. That's the one thing I always emphasize, and motherfuckers are like looking at me like I got 8 heads, like equal protection under the motherfucking law. Shout out to, who's this here? Hey, ST Images Photos, man. I appreciate that super chat, bro. Thanks for joining in here, right? So
You trying to
And
flex on me
I
with that
appreciate
camera, bro.
everybody. We kind of got a big house in here tonight. I hope a lot more people come and tune
yes,
into this
yeah, it's a lot of
conversation.
people in here, man. Hey, look, see, y'all brought the crowd. So Freeman's Journal said the military is 25% or less of the federal budget.
Again, with the whole thing about white people getting money from the government, and I'm not buying it until you give me actual specifics. I would make that same case right
It's not
now
what
when
I
we make
said.
it.
We said
No, no, no.
handout.
No, I get it. I'm connecting it to a different argument. I'm not trying to get caught up in
Okay,
that
because
semantically.
it sounded like a straw
So
man
hold
for a
on real
second.
quick.
No, forgive me if I stated
Hood
your
conservative.
position wrong.
Let me just say this real quick. All right. So check this out. I want to know how you feel about this particular example, if that's okay. So there was a situation that took place in Oregon, and there was COVID C-19. I apologize for using this, that on the channel, but C-19
Hmm.
money that was allocated allegedly specifically for quote unquote black businesses. Right now, this is something that was race specific, but I believe it came from the state. Right. So now what ended up happening is, as a result, there was a Latino business and a white business that sued to block those funds from being able to get to the black businesses that were supposed to get them. Now, my question for you and for a lot of your colleagues in the comment section is, if there was so much race-based policy that was coming out for black people, do you not feel that there would be more more litigation against it, like what we saw from the Asian community against affirmative action and what took place in Oregon? I would think that there would be legal battles all over the place.
What happens to our race-based policies when we no longer have the individual population to back those claims up? So, like, if there's, let's say you live in an area that used to be 55% black and the other groups were like 12 and 20%. There was no other huge block except for black people, right? And then over time, that 55% of black people is now just 10% population wise. Do you really think you're going to be able to maintain your race-based population position? And so how are you even going to argue that it's wrong when you used to argue that it was right?
Well, my question is, would you be seeing more litigation against it? Like, those are two
I
instances
get you, but
that
we
was
are.
litigation.
You just pointed it out. You laid it out. We already are seeing our racial claims being clawed back by other groups who have more racial dynamic energy than we do right now, as a group who is essentially on the downslope. And so we're fighting fights that might not have even been real 60 years ago, but we're still fighting them now. And we're losing. We're losing the race game, one, on a just sheer population density matter. And then two, we just need to be more competitive. Period.
Hey, Hood, let me read this comment. All right. So ST Images Photo. He says, first off, we all need to stop using these damn overused, abused political terms, because it's all gaslighting when the definitions constantly change. I think he's, if I'm correct, talking about what we're talking about right now, what you gotta, you're talking about what black people are not doing. Dig this. The shit in Chicago that's happening right now, that ain't got shit to do with nothing you're talking about. Black people not doing this, doing that, because them motherfuckers over there is making noise. Okay? But, you know, and I know your argument might be, well,
Ain't
it's the
nothing
left.
get burned down yet. I
Well, if
will
we burn
believe
shit
you when
down,
you
then we
say
some
it in
dumb
fire.
motherfuckers burning.
Listen, listen. George
Hold
Floyd
on, Hood.
died, and
Hold on,
shit was
Hood.
on fire.
Hold on, Hood. Hold on, Hood. Hold on, Hood. Hold on. What I'm saying is, and I understand where you about to go, but that's a segue, bro. What I'm saying is, okay, right now, because you know, y'all motherfuckers burning down your hood, right? But what they're trying to do is handle the shit politically. So that ain't good. You should go back to burning shit down, right? It's like, come on, bro. At the end of the day, we don't really have control over what them motherfuckers do. You know, if they either side, if they want to
Bro.
decide to bring motherfuckers, hold on, if they want to decide to bring motherfuckers over here, we can hoop and holler and do all of this shit. Now, the answer might be in get rid of the motherfuckers who are making that happen in your city. And that's another thing that needs to be spoken on is local politics. But what I'm saying is making this the fault of black people by not doing this and this and this as if, oh, because y'all ain't doing this or that, they're able to do this and this. Like, bro, you know, we didn't create these terms. We don't bring these people into the
What
country.
is the
They,
Rainbow
they,
Coalition?
they you tell me.
It was a concept started by Jesse Jackson to
Right.
organize essentially all the non-white votes. That was, I mean, and it's older than him, obviously,
Yeah, I was
but
about
that
to say, I think it goes back to like Black Panthers, like in Chicago.
right. Hell, there were even White Panthers, right? It's lesser known, but still, the point I'm trying to make though is that black people have invited a certain type of politic, and now it's turning against us in a way that we are unprepared for and essentially unable to even face properly.
No,
Well,
that I won't deny, but to the extent that the government is doing what they're doing because of that thing I don't agree with that. That's bullshit. Because they, you know, the whole thing is they would rather call themselves being benevolent to these groups of people that come over here and not the population that they had enslaved once upon a time.
well, and
When
I
you
think
talk about Chicago, who's the government?
J.B. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, and who put Brandon Johnson in office? The people of Chicago. So I agree with what Freeman Journal and Slick Rick down there are saying. The political ignorance of people voting in an idiot like Brandon Johnson, who everyone knew prior to that would be on Democrat shillery and just bringing in a whole bunch of quote unquote undocumented or changing the language to make that legal, like they've been doing with this protected status. Those people got to bear that, you know, they got to bear that serious error that they did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they voted the wrong way, voted based on emotion. You know what I'm saying? People got to not do that.
So again, okay, so where we at now? We are talking about at this point, we're talking about black specific stuff, right? Um again, the Democrats, by and large, you know, they market themselves to black women, right? I wouldn't say that the Republican Party necessarily, because we know the Democratic Party does not market to black men, right? In terms of what their specific needs are, and I ain't talking about handouts. What I would like to happen in these political discussions is when black men say, "What do I get from my vote?" That the you know the direct correlation to what do I get is some sort of free tangible shit, especially when you got a lot of guys in here who are doing very well. right, for themselves, or at least living, good lives, right?
Now, see, check this out though. One thing
Right.
that and I ain't cutting you off, Emma Marcus. Was you about to?
No, no,
Was
no,
you
no.
done? Okay.
Continue.
See, so like one thing that I would like to suggest, right? Say for instance, Hood Conservative and I are having a conversation, right? Because if you ask me, conservative policies are more favorable towards entrepreneurship and starting and growing a business, right? So my thing is that if we vote conservative, those conservative policies, what's undeniable is that those are geared for white men, period. You know what I'm saying? However, if that's the direction that we're going to go in, to me, it would make sense to have a strategy already in place of how we plan on weaponizing those benefits of the favorable entrepreneurship environment to start XYZ businesses and
Can
grow them in
can
a
you
certain percentage.
explain something for me? This concept of the conservative policies, or at least the ideas about the policies, are geared towards white men. I think I didn't quite say that the way you said it, but can you explain how that geared toward white men part works out?
Who is the majority of the conservative party?
White men, but explain to
So
me exactly like how it works on a practical level.
it's the same way
So,
that this conversation works. Like this conversation, we're not leaving out white people because we have an issue with white people. We're leaving out white people because this is three black men talking about things that we need to do to improve what's going on in the world. The same way, if the majority of people making those policies are majority white, they're going to make policies that they can relate to that are more majority dealing
so,
with things that they're dealing with. Not so I'm
so,
not saying that they're doing that to be purposely exclusionary, but that's what's going to happen.
No, I think I
what I,
get what you're
what I, what?
saying.
Go
Go ahead, you
ahead,
got it.
bro.
Thank
No,
you. All right.
no, go. You go first. You go first.
All right. What I'm hearing and what I think is happening is a fundamental disagreement. Well, not a disagreement, but a clash of visions, if you will. And not even between us on the panel, but I'm really talking about like white men and black men as groups, right? When you say that these conservative ideas are sort of just naturally geared towards serving white men, I think that's more an issue of their culture. And I'm not even totally sure I can buy into how you framed it, but I'm just sort of trying to work through this logic with you. I think it's more an issue of white culture being a little bit more responsive to the man, or at least makes room for the man in a way that black culture doesn't. And so on the rise from childhood, black boys don't even think the way white boys think. And so that has vast outcome differences. And what you're talking about as their rules serve them better, I think it's more an issue of that culture serves them better.
Let me say this, right? Two things. I think number one, black men who, you know, um, lean right make this mistake where they think because the right supports men that they mean your black ass too, right? That's one thing I wanted to say. Another thing is, if you're going to say black specific policies, how about this? During the history of America, laws had to get written so that motherfuckers couldn't discriminate or practice discrimination against black people or black men. When you don't do that, you are inherently giving white men the advantage, right? So let's talk about what's the guy's name? That was he took his shit to the Supreme Court. The comedian, I forgot his name. The billionaire. Just for some reason, just now, Byron Allen. You remember the Byron Allen shit? Can
Not
y'all hear
totally
me?
familiar with the details of
Okay, so
Byron Allen. I
I'll
know
give
he
it to
was
you.
trying to buy a big company.
No, he bought a few cable
News and
networks,
yeah.
and a couple of the service providers did not want his channels on their shit, and I think Comcast was one of them. Now, there was a case law that he was trying to use to fight this case so that he could get his channels. They were trying to exclude him. This motherfucker bought the Weather Channel, I think. They were trying to exclude him from these carriers, right? Just him. Who the fuck else? Just him, right? Billionaire black man bought some fucking networks and couldn't get his shit on, so he took them to the Supreme Court, and they rejected. They shut his shit the fuck down.
Why are we to cry tears for him?
No, that's irrelevant, bro. Let's not do that.
No, and it's not about. Let me not be glib, but let me make the connection.
Look, we're not gonna do that.
Why is his struggle a black thing? Let me put it that way.
No, bro. Because it points to discrimination and making pathways, like Rob was saying. Because you want to make it about him. It's not about him. Let's not do that. What I'm saying is, it's legit, bro. If that can happen on that level, well, he had to take it up there because he was getting shut down everywhere else. And he had case law. There's I forget the specifics of it, but there was case law that was supposed to protect him from being shut out.
The same thing happened.
My argument.
Hold on. You make your argument after I say this. If this man at billionaire level can be shut out, I don't give a fuck about crying let's not do the appeals to emotion thing, bro. What I'm saying is, if that can happen on that level, it can happen on any level. So you have to, in ways, make laws that force people not to discriminate against you on the basis of these things, right? So it ain't about crying tears for him. It's if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. And what I'm talking about is, again, equal protection under the law. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. I'm not asking for a hug or a handout. I just don't, I would say for black men, whether it's you, him, or anyone else, things like this should not be able to happen. Especially this wasn't even that long ago. This ain't no 1960s shit. This is not long ago. So when you don't push those types of laws, or at least adjudicate them correctly, this is what happens. So let's not make that some lightweight shit.
I think we have a MacGuffin problem, and not only in this conversation, but in just the way black folk look at the way we analyze situations. So now Byron Allen somehow becomes the MacGuffin to prove that the legal system is just unnaturally bent against black people, when the fact is we're watching billionaires throw money. Billionaires are having a goddamn money fight, and we imagine that somehow is a commentary on the average life of a black average person. Like, no, I reject this whole thing. This is a MacGuffin.
You can, but it stands. Let me.
So what about the question that I had asked about us examining conservative policy and then coming together as black men, figuring out which ones make the best sense, and then utilizing those policies to support each other? We're coming up with businesses to increase our business presence. Those are things that can be done whether you have agreements politically or not. That's something that I asked about, and that's something that wasn't addressed. You know what I'm saying? That's also something that doesn't require race-specific policy.
I got it. Hold on. I got a ton of super chats. Let me get through all of these, man. I don't want to lose. So, pardon me. Freeman's Journal. Wait, first of all, damn, I skipped Maul shit. Hold on, Maul. I got you. Hold on, Maul. My bad. Pardon me, y'all. You motherfuckers done buried me in super chats. I'm not complaining, people. Appreciate it. So Maul says, Marcus, I'll do you one better. What about economic specific policies for the average black male economic class which isn't limited to just black folk. I appreciate you for the super chat. Let me go to the next one. Freeman's Journal says BP put Brandon Johnson in office, no deportation. I want people to understand that nobody is here defending the Democratic Party. It seems to me that, again, people who are on the right can't have this conversation without talking about the left to people who don't support the left. But let me go to Tice. Tice, it's good, Tice. Shit, Tice. I don't know where you at, Tice. Where you at, Tice? Because shit, I might bring, because it's me and Rob, and Hood is kind of here by himself. Tice, hit me on the Facebook inbox if you want to jump in here. So Tice says you're not going to get race specified based policies and initiatives that aren't Trojan horseshoe horned by others. That's the problem we don't get. It's the wrong strategy to work. Yeah, because you're dealing with people who don't. You gotta. Rob, are you reading this?
No, listen, guys, and I don't mind being outnumbered in an argument. This reminds me of my early YouTube days. I'm reminiscing back to when I first got a name.
I don't like to play that shit though.
Yeah,
but
and we ain't trying to jump you, Hood Service.
Right.
I take it all in stride because none of this is personal anyway.
Yeah,
this is actually like good. You're putting up good, solid steelman arguments, so I'm not even making it like that. But I do enjoy the whole situation just the same.
Most definitely.
Definitely a good combo.
Let me just do this housekeeping. This is sponsorships. I gotta rock with these. Jazz Tech, shout out to you. And Tice, thanks, man. Like I said, it's up to you, Tice. Jazz Tech, 100 and Black Light Revelations are completely on target. Hood Conservative, you're speaking 3 to 4 fallacies right now and shows the issue with Republicans. The past directly impacts our present. We've only been allowed to score in the third quarter. Shout out to Jazz Tech. I appreciate that comment and that super chat. I think I read this one already from Maul. And I got Freeman's Journal. Shout out to Freeman's Journal.
And I think that oh, my bad. Are you done with the super chats, bro?
Yeah, I'm done with the super chats, man.
I was gonna say, I think another thing is, right, like there's certain things, right, that me and Marcus, we've made concessions to. No one said that a great voting strategy was to vote for Brandon Johnson. And anybody who follows my content that I do, I was strongly against Brandon Johnson. So the thing is that I think that one thing that kind of derails these kind of conversations is when things that are not being talked about within the conversation are brought in to kind of deflect away from things that are going on in the conversation. I actually said in the conversation, that's just something that those people in Chicago are going to have to deal with. They voted absolutely the wrong direction for Brandon Johnson. But then, you still got to deal with it.
It's not a Chicago thing, though.
I agree. It's definitely more than Chicago. I agree 100%. I don't disagree with that.
I lay it at all of our feet under the black umbrella because we have not only have we not been against it, we welcomed it. And this is kind of it's something I was talking about on my show earlier today. It's funny because I brought this up several times, and I know I kind of make a point to say the firebomb asshole kind of thing, but it has to be said. Black folk were better off making a deal with the racist white man than inviting all these Latinos and African immigrants and Asian immigrants and Indians and what even the goddamn Ukrainians are moving over here now. We were better off with Bubba.
Show me the ports that niggas are running and the ships that niggas are sending over to get these people.
I'm just saying we could have supported it or not, and we supported immigration when we should have been standing on that border.
Hold on. If anything, because all I talk to is men who don't support none of this shit. If anything, it is your Democratic black woman who supported that shit. Don't put this on niggas. No, sir. No
Oh,
subs.
now we want to split
No, that's
ourselves off from the
no.
black
Okay,
vote.
so
Now all of a sudden, black men don't want to be the black vote no
okay.
more,
So
man.
no. Are you serious? This is so is no voting, no fucking is about us.
Bro, that was
Let's
2 years ago. This shit been like 40 years in the making.
bro. Let's be honest, bro. What I'm saying is that, but that's you're talking about Ukrainians. This is recent shit. Again, I don't see what group of black men fought for Ukrainians to get over here and be part of our struggle.
No,
Please tell
you're
me.
misunderstanding the nature of what I'm trying to say. So for the last, remember when I mentioned like the Rainbow Coalition, for the last several generations, why the fuck right now, black people, we got people out there marching for Palestine because we believe somehow the Palestinian struggle is akin to the black American struggle. That's exactly my point. We have welcomed every other group into our so-called struggle because we think we're in this mythological life and death struggle against the white man, and now you're about to be drowned by everybody who you thought was coming to help you.
I think that goes back to that point about the derangement of our internal politics by those people that wear them fitted hats that's not made by New Era that you was talking about earlier.
Again, I agree with you. It is so hard to talk about openly on a public platform because then it would make so much more sense if we can explain the third party. But I'm telling you, my opinion is that black people have been sold a bill of goods and a comic book story.
Yeah, now, but you're not gonna flatten blackness in this Ukrainian argument as if black men and women were totally on board with this shit, bro. Listen, nah, we're not gonna do that. When you say black people, again, we know who is backed by
Malik Yoba and Eddie Torres.
So what?
We've been homies for the longest. We've been friends for the longest, like with the Latino community, and now we're watching it blow up in our face, bro.
We ain't talking about no. You mentioned Ukrainians, bro.
Forget the Ukrainians. It's not about the Ukrainians because they're not the major immigration group. No, I brought that up just to include a white immigrant group.
I think you guys are kind of missing each other, and I think that y'all actually agree on this. I think basically what Hood Conservative is saying is that this delusion, also known as intersectionality, you know what I'm saying, is a bad deal that has been sold to people and people bought it.
No, intersectionality was sold to women. I want to make this clear.
True.
I want to make this clear that shit that wasn't us. You say you reject some shit. I totally reject that shit. There's no again, if you want to talk about people of color and the alliance with this one or that one, I could kind of give you, because this was some time ago. That's an old thing, right? But when you talk about, groups of white folks, and again, that's not something that we control. That's something that we can stop. To be honest, shit, we ain't been with it, and we speak out against it. But that ain't even something that we can affect. That's something that these people they doing and they're gonna keep doing, right? And this, especially the Democrats, that's definitely something that they're doing. They're gonna keep doing. That's not something we pushed for. They send every boat with black people home. They don't want more black people here. They'd love to bring more white folks. I don't see no black people marching for the Ukrainians to come here. And if if you see any of those, they're idiots. But I don't see any movement. Don't give me two celebrities' names. I'm talking about a movement. You say black people, you're gonna Malik Yoba, and nah, that's not gonna work.
No,
I'm talking about a movement.
Mention them. When I mentioned Malik Yoba and Eddie Torres, I was just pointing out how black people and Latino people have just traditionally, even from a media standpoint, we've been sold our friendship together. But the simple fact is we are competing ethnic groups sharing a shrinking ethnic pie.
I hear you, but you're in NYC. You're from NYC like me. And it's not just about that. It's from the fact that, we kind of raised in the same neighborhoods. So there's, and we get harassed by the police, even though not at the same exact levels, but just period. So then there's this sort of kind of like togetherness from struggle perception that's happening even outside of the media. That's something that in the hood, you know, your Spike Lee do the right thing, Spike Lee, Rosie Perez, that type of thing, right? But I get what you're saying. Let me get to this super chat. It's Tice. Tice is up here. He said, appreciate the invite. I'm out, Marcus. FD Biatch Fiar Mark Lamont. Oh, fire Mark Lamont Hill. Nearly all black male academic supported fence jumpers.
That's facts.
All right. Black men mostly follow their beloved B-Dub in the voting booth. Facts. This is, again, can't deny none of this. But again, it's not like the Democratic Party is selling to these niggas. We're going to bring more people from Europe.
Well, no. Name a black elected official who's speaking out against immigration right now.
Shout out to Tice. Thanks for it. Right. But I wouldn't say there is. And it goes out to go back to what Rael is saying. I'm looking for his comment. Shout out to Rael because I see you out there. Basically, he's saying, you know, politics is for the most part about appeasing women at this point, right? I say with the exception of a couple of like states trying to pass a couple of laws, on a federal level, I would tend to agree. I'm looking for Ryle's comment, but I can't find it.
There's
no
black elected officials right now speaking out against immigration, and if you listen closely, even the ones that try to appear as if they're speaking out to immigration as a like low tier pandering attempt, they're not actually speaking out against immigration. They're trying to distribute the immigration, you know, across the state to dilute the effects in their own areas. Like you see these people in Chicago, a lot of the congressmen there are saying, well, Illinois is a sanctuary state, so you know, right, all the immigrants don't need to go to Chicago. They can be spread throughout Illinois. They're not actually against immigration. There's Hood Conservative is right in that particular area of what he's saying. I don't think that there's not one black elected official that's speaking against immigration, despite all of the evidence of how immigration negatively affects black people. You know what I'm saying?
So Freeman's Journal says, BS, a whole bunch of Haitians coming across the border, a whole bunch of Africans, but which ones? Motherfuckers, hold on. Africans and Haitians don't just show up on a boat on some refugee shit. These motherfuckers file for visas. And they lose a lot of money doing that shit. Now I'm just calling it how it is, not necessarily my feelings on it. But they don't come here they rescue motherfuckers from these other places. They rescue them. Oh, we gotta.
I think you're making assumptions, bro.
Okay, so show me the state that's taking Haitians and Africans and putting them up in empty buildings or in school gyms and shit like that and giving them stipends and shit. Please tell me where this is happening. I'm willing to be wrong. Show me where that's happening in America.
I think you can just
black people. No. He's saying a whole bunch of Haitians. So if we can point to Chicago, we can point to when the Hispanics come across the border, or we over here trying to save Ukraine right now. Show me an equal black, effort, please. Who? Okay, I'll take by that silence that nobody hasn't. Let me scroll down. Let me see if anybody's responding in the chat, because I don't see nobody coming from a group of some population of save me black people coming on some, on some shit like these other people have been allowed to come in here.
Yeah, I think you misunderstanding the whole issue. It's like, it's not even a issue of black. Listen, if it was only
I'm just responding to what he said, bro. I'm just responding to what he said. I'm not making it the whole conversation. I'm just saying black people don't come over here like how some of these other people come here, bro. And we know what they bringing these people over here for. They think that,
right, so then
Go ahead.
No, if we both agree on that, then that means the next question is how come nobody is against it like that? That's kind of what makes it an issue. So like when you talk about
Okay.
Chicago and Brandon Johnson, like everybody, they
You
just
talking about
got rid of Lori Lightfoot, and then they
right.
voted for somebody who he was gonna do exactly what he said. Everything that's happening now, he wasn't lying about it before, and so
So
nobody made
right.
that a problem. Nobody made it a thing.
So this is the thing, right? Again, I do hold against black people that they just automatically vote Democratic. I hold that against them. Um, I just need proof of black folks' lives being improved automatically by voting for the right
It's not
because I
going to
don't see it.
happen, and I would never sell you that dream.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
There is no
Again,
automatic solution to anything like
well,
this.
there's no automatic
The, uh,
solution,
the
but what we're
rise
saying,
of a people
hold
is
on,
not an automatic thing.
but no, I get it. But what we're sitting here saying is that these people voted for a guy that somehow we think that they predicted that he would do this stuff. Now, what I will say is this: at this point, right, with what we know Democrats to do at this point, I don't give a fuck what they say on a microphone. It should be apparent that whatever they're selling you is bullshit. Did everybody hear me say that? So I don't want to hear any arguments for Democrats or using Democrats as an argument for the right. So how does the first do this? How does the right intend to handle this?
I don't understand what the question is. What do you mean? How does the right intend to
Now,
handle this?
how
I
does the
don't get
right
where you're
intend
coming
to
from.
handle it? Like, okay, so I would say that the reason why the left wants all these people here is to, it's always a population vote political thing. You know what I mean? These people come here and they vote right anyways. I don't know why they would do that, thinking that okay, we're gonna have these people beholden to us because we're losing
What
grip
makes you
on
think
black
that
people.
they vote right? What are you basing that on?
Are you saying that pardon me, Latinos that come here from other countries, they vote
Outside of
primarily left?
outside of Cubans who vote left for very, very particular, I mean, sorry, outside of Cubans who vote right wing for very, very particular reasons, most immigrants naturally vote Democrat because those are the people who support them. Those are the people who give them free things. The entire structure, the entire infrastructure that supports immigrants from before they get to this country until they make it to their final destination around the corner from where you and I live, these are people who support the Democrats. And when you get into America proper, these are actual Democrats. They vote Democrat, they're a part of Democrat social organizations and whatnot. And so, yeah, they're bringing voters here.
No, that I'm aware of. I mean, a lot of them don't vote that way, but that's something that if you're saying that they do, because I was under the impression that it was the other way around because that's what I see, then I would have to bring up that metric, right? But that's the game plan is to bring in voters. So I understand that part of it. What I'm saying is, right? Sell me the right without talking shit about the left because niggas don't fuck with the left. Rob, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so that's my question.
I'm not even I get the appeal, and I suppose from a raw political standpoint that is kind of the situation. But here's the problem. The Republican Party, because people accuse the Republican Party of not appealing to the black vote properly or not doing enough to go after the black vote in terms of like money and outreach. And I'm at the position where I don't know if the right actually can appeal to black people. I don't even know, one, if it's a politically useful thing for Republicans to appeal to the black vote. And then two, I think the way Democrats are going now, the Republicans, I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell shit to you niggas. I'm gonna let you niggas get so sick of the way everything's going that you come and buy everything from me at a markup. That's how I look at it right now. You know why? Because your politics hates you, and I just want to do business with you, stupid motherfuckers. That's the Republican position.
Hey, Rob, you want to respond to that?
Actually, I don't really disagree with that. My thing that I would actually ask Hood Conservative is, why do you feel that? See, like to me, if people know the direction that they want to go in, they should already have like somewhat of a template of what kind of political policies are necessary to meet their goals. Like we want tax breaks in XYZ. We want import export relief. We want somebody that's going to have a conservative fiscal policy that doesn't raise interest very much and controls inflation. You know what I'm saying? We had these market goals of wanting to make up, 20% of a certain market. So
Well, see,
my
those are
question,
baseline Republican ideas, mind you. The issue with voters is we can't hold our guys accountable to those baseline ideas. So that's not even asking for anything remarkable.
well, my question is, why do you feel that people don't already have a pre-understanding template, cookie cutter version of what kind of policies are necessary to improve their position? Because that's what that goes back to my original question
When
of,
you say
okay,
improve the position, you mean like, are you referring this to like black culture or black people? I'm not sure what you're saying.
well, we're talking about black males, right? This is like what politics as usual as they benefit black males. So we're talking about how we can utilize these policies, right? And we're not talking about race specific policies because we're not talking about the race specific policies. So what I'm saying is that if you, Marcus, and I wanted to start a competitive business, we should already know what political party lays out the best package for an environment favorable to us starting a business. My question for you is, why is it that people don't already have that together to know the direction that they need to vote in? Because to me, that would standardize things and it would streamline a lot of these kind of conversations.
I don't know if there is any one particular voting item that can like galvanize the black vote. The black male vote, I don't think if you want to get the black male vote in particular, I don't even think it's a pure economic argument. I wouldn't even pitch that to black men like that about like economics and whatnot. Like not heavy anyway. I would keep that as like side B. But I think for the black male vote, I would sell raw masculine accomplishment and the opportunity to achieve the same thing that the same way that from a historical perspective, like black men, I remember seeing these kind of like civil rights pictures of the black guy at some kind of protest, and he's got the whiteboard on his chest, and he says, "I am a man."
I
I
got
I,
one
I
of
would
those.
I would sell black men raw, like traditional white masculinity. Why aren't black men allowed to have a white man style family? Why is it crazy for a black man to think he should be head of the household? No other man has to deal with that shit but a black man. Why the fuck are we treating black
Why,
men like
why,
that?
why do you think that the right wants that for black men?
No, but if you're asking me how the right would appeal to black men, that's how. Why would they want that for black men?
Right.
Because then you'll make more Republican voters that way.
I
Republican
understand,
voters come from a Republican
but
family.
but let's be honest. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Shout out to Kev, black men being brutally honest. I'm gonna be brutally honest. You can't market directly to black men because then you won't win. Let's just call it what it is, right? You can't market
Maybe.
directly to black men because let me tell you, when you offer any party or any politician that offers anything to black men will offend the rest of their base.
Well, and it also seems like a lot of these conversations come down to people voting for pussy. and voting for what women approve of. Like, in my opinion, if you're actually a man, then like we're gonna build our masculinity through business networks and out competing and beating other groups of men out, and that way we make the rules ourselves.
Listen, if you're on the left, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. If you're a Democratic politician and you offer black men something, you'll offend the bitches. And if you're on the right and you offer black men something, and I ain't talking about handouts or free shit, okay? If you offer them anything or you make anything black male specific, you gonna offend the good old boys. Now we can sit here and pretend, right, that the right is just the right wing or the Republican Party is just full of some nigga loving bubbas and shit, right? They just love niggas, right? And
No,
but
they don't
Marcus,
love
why do you
niggas.
want love? It ain't about that. It's what it's about is see what you offered was a good thing, Hood. You said, why can't black men, have the part the families that white men have, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I don't again, a conversation I think me and you had, I think on your channel was, I don't know how on the federal level you can do that. Now, even if you did it on a state level, you got black people don't tend to live in red states. They tend to live in blue states. Right? So you understand what I'm saying? Like anything that would affect black men directly will come from their local government. But
I mean,
again,
we could remove any federal funding from like family court
it's not going to
from the
happen.
family court structure. Well, you're asking me how the federal court could. I mean, a conversation about whether it would happen, I give you that, but
Right.
there are things that could be done from a federal level, yeah, because it's mostly about spending money, so you just have to cut the purse strings. If the federal government were to stop paying for a lot of things, black men would be in a lot better social position.
Say that again. We ain't talking about the winner shit, are we?
I mean, yes and no, but that's kind of the reality of it. And this is why men need to side with men. And so when you frame things around, if the Republican Party does XYZ for black men, it's going to offend the white men of the Republican Party. I think we should touch the third rail and see whether or not it kills us. Because at this point, we have really little else to do in this struggle. Because
that's the only argument I wouldn't argue with.
no, and I get you, and I frame it exactly that way. It is a third rail for black Americans, for black men. Somehow, talking to white men about what's best for men is a weird third rail, and I'm like, why? They're fucking
we did that
men.
before.
Listen,
let me tell you.
But hold on. You mean to tell me that we've had a whole civil rights movement to fight for our so-called rights in this country, but now all of a sudden we're afraid to talk to white men? They sick dogs on us, for Christ's sakes, but now we can't talk to these motherfuckers? We not even trying. There are no dogs left. They don't even do that with the dogs anymore.
Hey, bro, black men have been part of every war in this motherfucker. We done fought side by side with white men. That didn't get us respect from these men. Like all the shit that black men have done in this country that was aligned with whatever the goal of the nation was. What I don't understand about niggas, right, is they think because they're men and they agree on some man shit that them white men will look at them and say, yes, we agree with you. Let's fight this thing together, and we will share the spoils of what we gained.
It depends
after
on
the
the
fact.
fight. It depends
Bro,
on the fight.
So give me.
I'm not saying we're gonna align on everything.
Give me an example where that's happened, where white men and black men have gained something, and together they equally shared the spoils of that thing. Because
America.
This is what niggas, huh?
America. This
Equally?
land is his land. This land is our land, and we should join arms and keep everyone else the fuck out.
Rob.
Yeah, yes. That's this land is his land. This land is our land, and I don't know why the fuck everybody else is here.
So let me address a comment here. So Danny, what is this? Danny Nightblade 45 says white men have fought in every war in this country too. What's your point? Is this nigga slow or what?
Well, here's my question. If it's like that, what's the point of a black manosphere?
Right.
Honestly, this is a touchy thing.
That's
Listen,
a good
I
question.
am not. No. I am not against individual groups. I am not against racial or ethnic groups because ethnicities are just a natural part of the human existence or whatever. We, as a human family, we comprise of countless ethnicities, and I'm not going to try to force people into some colorblind non-reality. That's not what I'm arguing. But I'm saying that when it comes to issues of major importance, we have to be willing to work with other men. Otherwise,
right? But
and this
Hood,
is the worst part. Hold on. This is the worst part. This is the worst part. Let me.
Other men ain't been willing to work with us.
Let me tell you the worst part. If this is well, then all we got is these bitches, nigga, and that's what. And then we deserve it. If we're not willing to work with other men, then all we got is these bitches, and we deserve what the fuck we get because we weren't willing to work with other men.
Bullshit. Black men have always. Hold on.
What else do we got? What else do we got besides these bitches?
Before you jump in, black men have always been willing to work with other men. Always. That's bullshit, bro.
My question stands.
No, hold on.
It doesn't change my question. In the here and the right now, with the problems that we have, in the here and the right now, if we're not willing to work with other men, what else do we have but these fucking bitches?
You mean trying again because black men have been willing to. You just made the argument that we've been.
What else do we have?
Hold on.
Fucking bitches.
Hold on. You just made the see now you made the argument that we've been too inclusive. You just finished making that argument. But now we're unwilling to work with other men.
I didn't say all men. I'm just talking about the white men. I'm just talking about the white men. I don't want the rest of these niggas sitting at the table. I literally asked why the fuck are they here?
But they have a vested interest too, just like those other men that we've been too inclusive with. So what's the difference?
Are you sure their interest is your interest? Are you sure these other groups want America to be the America? No. The same rights that you fought for, the same rights that the same rights that black people during the civil rights fought for. Do you think other groups are going to come here and try to maintain the America that Martin Luther King fought for black people to have an equal share of? Why do you think other groups of people are even attached to the American dream? They don't give a fuck about that shit.
Listen, since we've been here, we've been trying to work with white men. Are you kidding me? Hold on. Are you kidding me? Rob, jump in here somewhere because you were on fire with.
Please jump in. I was talking a lot. Please jump in. I'm going to take a sip.
No, I'm willing to take a back seat, but this idea, black men have been trying to work with white men since we stepped foot off a fucking ship. Okay, we've been trying to work with white men, so this. We're unwilling. So the only reason we try to form alliances with other people is because the white man was unwilling to work with us. That's what that was born of. And then we see where that got us. And now we're back to trying to work with the same white man that told us go fuck ourselves in the first. Are you kidding me? We're unwilling? Come on, fam. Rob, please, Rob.
For the right now in this moment. Okay.
So what? Okay, so Hood Conservative, what do you think we're doing that's not quote unquote working with quote unquote white men? What do you think?
Well, I mean, we kind of get into the theoretical here, but the argument that I'm laying out with black men having more in common politically with white men is an argument as to why black men in particular should be willing to break away from the democratic establishment.
Okay, so wait, stop. Can I stop you right there? Can I stop you right there? Respectfully, the reason why I want to stop you right there is because I want to go back to my question that I had earlier, right? And the question that I had earlier was, okay, so black men then should have a plan and a template of what political objectives would be most favorable to us, right? So as long as we have that and that's most favorable to us, you know what I'm saying? We'll be working together as black men to create these businesses, favorable environment for entrepreneurship, business, large business, right? And also in doing that, we will have worked with white men by using the political system to vote and put in a candidate that more than likely a majority of them have put in. The way that the United States is structured is that most things that we do, even things that appear negative, somehow benefit a majority of white business. So my thing is bringing it back to us, as far as us three in this conversation. We still need to figure out which is the better direction to be in: conservative, liberal, which I think we all disagree that liberal is horrible, or independent. And I'm not seeing anything overwhelmingly. See, because if you're independent, those things about conservatism that are favorable, we're able to utilize those.
Well, the problem with being independent is that it's almost not having your own platform. It's like I want to take a little bit of this. I want to take a little. You're trying to. Yeah, you can't
So
have
you don't
both
think that
sides.
going to the conservatives is having your own platform? Now, me personally, as far as the own platform argument, I believe that we should form our own platform. You know what I'm saying? But what the
I
conversation
think
is here is about politics as usual within the American framework,
I
which would
think
require a
the
Democrat or Republican.
yeah, and I'm hesitant to break from the typical Democrat left right binary simply because the either or 1-0 binary kind of system creates just a stark reality. You can get with this or you can get with that. And when you can boil things down to their simplest essence and make it a simple binary choice, it's a lot easier to present it to people. And so there is a simple binary choice that you can make, and obviously things get complicated once you start talking about the meticulous details of things, but still it is a simple binary thing. The left at this point doesn't even believe in gender anymore. And so when you start to bring that part up, like people start hating me when I point that out. It's like, listen, I understand all your theoretical arguments, but if I vote for you, you're going to turn my son into a girl and I'll have to kill you.
I think we
You
all agree on
understand
that.
where we are when you bring up once your party is at that level, and it's like, bro, no matter what you do, you're just going to put me in a position where I'm going to want to kill you.
You
Why would I
a
do
Hey,
that?
hood. You kind of entering little big Nate territory with that one there.
I
So
know I tried to say it softly.
but
yeah, well, yeah, he would have yelled.
but even that though, right? Like that's not something that you got. Like that's not something that Marcus or I don't want to speak for Marcus, but that's not something that Marcus or I disagree with. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So what I'm trying to figure out is based on the things that we have in common. How can black men utilize these tools to improve? And whether you're conservative or whether Marcus and I are independent, how can we benefit the most from whose policies? I say, for instance, I'm a business owner. I have a business that makes $300,000 a year. I want to increase my market share 1% next year, and I want to increase my revenues 5%. Name me some candidates or name me some policies that I should investigate.
I think it's framing wrong. Again, we have a radically different vision of where things are and what the solutions are. So
Well,
I'm not even saying that you're totally wrong about this or that. I just have such a completely different frame of view
or
for
or
everything. So
or
it's hard for me to see it your
or
way.
or and before I do the shout out to 7N. He said I'm shaking like Pookie and New Jack. It's just my nerves, man. Conservative talking is black men need to work with other men. Like what? When haven't we? Right? At what point in America have we not? So I want to say this.
Pookie and Ray Ray keeping a lot of white lawyers rich.
Right. Yo, look, I had an
That's
office
not what
on,
that means. All right.
a lot of people know this. Well, maybe not people online, but a lot of people who know me for real. I had an office on 42nd Street, 8th Avenue for a number of years. Right? Ran a business right there. And when I was ready to move out of there, I'm looking at all these other places because I needed a bigger space in Manhattan. Every last one of these motherfuckers, as soon as they got to look at me, was like, nah. So everybody in the chat and everybody who'll play this video later, who'll tell me all this great shit that I'll get from voting for the right, but that I shouldn't care, that the base is not conducive for me being a successful black business person.
Yo, you see how I'm sorry. Good. I'm sorry. I will wait. Okay,
but I'm getting redlined, right? I'm just saying, like, oh, you shouldn't be worried about that, Marcus, and blah, blah, blah. Nigga, I had the fucking money to move in any of these places that they showed me. I had a guy tell the broker that I was with, oh, he could come in, oh, we give him this amount of months rent for free and blase fucking blah. And as soon as I walked in there, this motherfucker frowned his face up, talking about, I need a year's worth of rent up front. So don't tell me no bullshit about, you know, my issues are not specific. Because if I walked there looking like fucking Opie, I would have got the fucking place. And I'm a black businessman, goddammit. So don't talk to me about handouts, motherfucker. I understand the shit that's on the right for business men. But if you are letting motherfuckers put roadblocks in front of my shit, then what the fuck does it mean for me? And I hear one more thing, Hood. I hear a lot of niggas that advocate for the right talk about all these great business shits, and a lot of niggas that talk that shit ain't even businessmen. You work somewhere for somebody, getting a check. I ain't had a job in how fucking long, man. So don't tell me about what I shouldn't worry about as a black man, especially in business. Because these are the things that concern me. Equal fucking protection, yo. And the shit that a nigga gotta go through to get treated fairly, trying to come up and get money. It's easier for me to go sell fucking crack. Hood, jump in here, man. Don't talk to me about handouts, nigga. I'll hand you some shit, motherfuckers.
Some days I question whether or not I should have retired from selling coke. It wasn't such a hard life, but you know, there's no retirement plan. Anyway, bro, you know, it's so funny to listen to you talk. Who runs New York City real estate?
We know who that is.
So why are you blaming white racism? Stop it. This is that schizophrenic black shit.
The guy who I'm talking about, the guys who were looking me in the face, I know what they look like because they looked me in the face and I looked them in the face. So there's no boogeyman here.
And you really think that New York City politics is somehow a bastion of Republican racism?
No, I don't think so. What I'm saying is,
so what are we even doing? Why are you making this a Republican thing? Why are you making this about racism?
No, this idea that, you know, oh, if you just work with this is me trying to rent a fucking space in your fucking property. So don't tell me about not working.
I know, bro. But let's slow it down. We're having a conversation about
this clown here. I couldn't get an apartment. It was a fucking commercial space, you idiot.
Right. And listen, I know,
not you. I'm talking to somebody in the chat.
I know, but believe me, I know what you're talking about. And I'm like, bro, the best way to get that done is to have one of their people help you in the process, right? It's it's New York City.
But what I'm saying is, look, see, this is what I'm talking about. So the very thing. Eventually, they're gonna have to see my black ass. The very thing that you're saying I shouldn't be worried about. I gotta do subversion tactics to get around. Right, right. Instead of the law being a certain way. And now, of course, there are anti-discrimination, this and that, and the third. And the motherfucker have to go through a process of sending some fucking white people to somewhere and seeing how they deal with them. This is what a motherfucker got to do, right? Because you got to create laws for these motherfuckers to not discriminate against you. Period. This is what we're talking about.
Right, but are
So
these
when
Republicans
somebody
in your way or not though?
so
Like,
when
are these
somebody
conservatives in your way?
and by the way, small hats are white people. Let's not get that twisted.
Yes and no. Yes and
No, they're
no. It's a
definitely
weird
white folks.
game. It's such a weird game. I'm with
Hood,
you, but
hood.
Pull
they
that
are,
thing. I
but they're
gotta
not. They're
Come on,
like
man.
Schrodinger's Caucasians, bro.
Come on, man.
They are, but they aren't at the same time. That
Come
shit
on,
is
man.
mystical.
No, they definitely are. They're from fucking Europe. They're from Europe, bro.
I know.
Okay, so then let's not play that, bro.
But here's the
Fuck what they
problem.
think and what they
Here's
say.
the
They're
problem.
from Europe.
Here's the problem.
Y'all really
From a
gonna
black
hold on? Y'all really gonna these motherfuckers in the chat? Lou, stop it! You gonna and Lou? I'll bring you up here, Lou, because I see you other people's panels. You never get on mine, but I'm gonna tell you. Do not tell me that motherfuckers that are from Eastern Europe are not white folk. Bro, come on.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you in that, and that's something that you kind of have to like get educated on, because otherwise you think, well, no, they come from the Middle East, right? So that's a whole nother conversation in and of
Middle East is
itself. But I'm
Africa.
with you.
No, you're talking about.
No,
You're
it's
talking
not. The
about.
Middle East is not in Africa. It's not.
No,
It's
no, no,
literally
no,
not
no,
on the
no. Well,
continent.
it's in a different part than Eastern Europe. A lot of these, and I don't want to say some words on here, but a lot of these people are not from over there. You're confusing them what Israelis with these people in bro. You're from NY like me. They don't look
Yeah,
like them people
it's
over
not
there.
an issue of my
It's not them same
confusion.
people. It's not them people.
It's a common misunderstanding. It's
Come
not
on,
an issue
man.
of my confusion. That's what I'm saying. So from a common
So let's
parlance, right?
not talk
And
about the Middle
frankly,
East.
no, frankly, they will tell you themselves they are not. Like they say flat out, no, I'm not white. So it's not even that I'm just confused. It's an intentional
Bro. They're European.
misdirection, I imagine. And so
They're
the point,
European.
hold on, but
White
the
is a
point,
class that we call people because race is a social construct, but they're from Europe, bro.
no, here's the difference. When black people imagine
This is an
somebody,
argument.
when black people imagine that there is a racial hierarchy, when black people imagine that there is a specific race of people who plot together among themselves for their specific group to win over everyone else, they imagine some blonde-haired, blue-eyed motherfucker in a
That's not what we're
pinstripe
talking about.
suit smoking a cigar.
I
They
hear
do
you.
not imagine those people in their little groups, in their little meetings, who you have to scour the internet to get evidence of their meetings and their secret plots and plans. So most black people do not make the distinction. And so when they say white supremacy, you think it's fucking Bubba. And I'm saying, leave Bubba alone. Bubba smokes crack. Bubba is not running the fucking world.
I didn't say that. Nobody said that. That's a straw man. Enticed. I'm not outside of binary dumbass America. I'm in America where this is what we're dealing with, right? So don't tell me what happens over there. I'm over here. But again, no, I didn't say that. You don't get to do that. What I'm saying is that's who these people are. And those people work with those people. Again, you're from the same town I'm from. Okay? I've had my run-ins with them folks. I mean, long story, serious shit, bro. So I'm not a fan of them, but I know who they are. And you can't tell me that them are not Europeans. They're not from that other area that we sending money to. They're not from over there. Them motherfuckers that's in your town where you are right now, you see them all the time with the big motherfucking hats and the curls falling down on the side of their face. Them are not those people. You
No.
know,
What I'm
nah,
saying
you
is
know
that
that,
these
man.
two
Come on,
groups
man.
of people, the Christians and their Semite cousins, this whole Judeo-Christian thing, these two groups of people have been at war since forever, since before one black person was ever bought and sold by
Yeah,
a
but
white
one,
person. These two
but
groups of people
right,
been at
right.
war.
But
And so now all of a sudden
uh-huh.
you think one of them has chosen a side. No, I'm sorry. You think that these people are your friend when in reality they're just using you as leverage against a group of people they've been at war
Listen,
with for a
Wait, who
thousand
thinks
listen,
years
who
over
listen. White
109
white men,
countries.
white
who
men
thinks
have
that
been
who's
fighting each other since Earth. But one thing that they could do agree on is that your black ass ain't them.
well? Wait, I
So
just want to be
fuck what's going on between them. That ain't your business. That's why I don't really get into issues that go on from
It's a, it's a
who
when they
thinks
go at each other.
we
who are
have
we saying
chosen a
that we
side
think
though.
are
We chose communism. We have chosen a
Bro,
side. Most black
Rob, talk to her,
politics is
bro.
socialistic or communistic. So look, when you go back into the 60s and the
What,
70s and you
bro? What
ask
did
why so many white people were so uptight about black people, it's because so many black people were fucking communists and communists
Hood,
hate Christians and most
Hood?
white
What
folk
does
were
this
Christian
Hood?
at the time.
What does this have to do with what I just explained to you? Because you brought up Jewish people. The people that I was dealing with in New York when I was trying to move into these places, some of them weren't Jewish. Not all of them were Jewish,
I'm
right?
not saying they
Again,
all are.
no. I'm not saying that. But you going into communism and all that shit. Fuck all that. What I'm talking about right now is, the things, the basic understanding of white folks dealing with black folks, and that there have to be laws created so they don't act on their base nature when it comes to dealing with us.
well. And another
So,
thing that I see
right,
binary, another thing that I see binary is this, right? When it comes to the quote unquote right, or when it comes to the quote unquote left, there's a desire. There's a desire to not act, because my suggestion that I've been saying throughout this entire thing is I've accommodated a lot of hood conservatives, arguments or complaints with arguments. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna not talk about race. We're gonna take race out of it. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna not talk about race specific policy, right? And so what I then am saying is, where is the responsibility at on the people who are involved in the politics to know policy of what they want to accomplish, to understand what those policies are, and vote for people who are pushing those policies? Like I said, the example that I used is me, Marcus, and Hood Conservative starting a business. So then we look into the political environment and say, what kind of policies are favorable to us starting a business? Now we're 5 years into our business. What policies are favorable to our expansion? What it seems like the issue is to me is that regardless of whether it's on the left or whether it's on the right,
right.
there's a failure of people to want to work together. Like my thing is, like I said, opposed from political ideology, I would be down to do some type of business with somebody or create a business with somebody, right? And the stuff that I brought up, it just got completely glossed over, which tells me that when it comes to these kind of things, what's more important is the ideological debate and fitting in with either side, the Democrats versus the Republicans or conservatives versus liberals, than actually production of
I'm
tangible
not even
results utilizing conservative or liberal policies.
I'm not even sure. And you're right, by the way, that everything you just said did happen exactly sort of how you laid it out. And I think what really happened in that, the conversation almost naturally shifted to where it really wanted to be, which was the race dynamic. For black people, Democrat is a black position and Republican is a white position. Liberal is a black position and conservative is a white position.
But we got
And
three black dudes up here, right? So we shouldn't
and
even,
it
like, we just
always
talk about,
it just
but check,
naturally wants to do that. It's weird, I
but
know.
Hood conservative, we got three black dudes up here. We all are in agreement about the
Right.
Democratic Party, about how
Keep
negative
going
they
here.
are.
Keep going here.
And there's, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these things we don't even need to argue, because there's a lot of these things that we agree on.
Right. That's why I don't understand why the left keeps coming up as some sort of thing. Well, don't fuck with them. Fuck with. So, Rob, can you
Well, I
address
think
this?
it's because I'm so much further to the right. I think I'm literally far right. But here's the thing. Um,
I
I
want
don't know that
when
I
you're done, I want Rob to respond to this comment right here. That's why I
okay.
put it on screen.
Okay. I don't know that it's an issue of the right it's not that the right has to appeal to black people. I think I think black people by and large are under a a series of severe misconceptions. And if you would address if the individual black people were to address some of these misconceptions, some of these false ideas about how they see the world, they would naturally find themselves in alignment with the right. And that's not something that can be done from a political outreach.
Hey, chat. So Danny Nightblade has called me a pro whack. Somebody please school this clown. I never seen him in my chat before. You in the wrong place if you think I'm pro black. Um, so Rob, I want you to respond to this before I do, but go ahead. Yeah. He said the whites freed the slaves, the blackity blacks didn't do anything but do the bidding of the small hat commies. So the whites freed the slaves. Rob, please.
That's a statement that there's a lot of context behind, but it's written in its current format as a talking point. The whites freed the slaves. They also owned the slaves. They also started.
Thank you, stupid motherfucker. I swear to God, man.
You know what I'm saying? And then as
Freedom
far as
from who?
the quote unquote bliggity blacks didn't do anything but the bidding of the small hat commies, I don't think that there's many people that would disagree with that. So I don't understand what that was supposed to do. Everybody knows the history of Henry Motzowitz. You know what I'm saying? Co-opting the civil rights movement, Gloria
Not
Steinem, and
everyone
all of that.
does, bro. Not everyone does. I'm telling you, that is not common knowledge. That is like
So
the deep
yeah,
secret stuff you have to
I
be up
mean,
all night studying for.
even that fist, right? The black fist, people fist pump. They put that fist up in the air. That's a socialist symbol. That
right.
How
means
many people
socialism,
at a
communism.
BLM rally actually know that, do you suppose? How if you would have went back a couple of years to these George Floyd protests, how many of these people you think at one of those rallies actually know the history of all that? Do you really
You
think
know
that's th-
the
yeah, yeah,
funny
yeah.
thing
Go
is
ahead.
white people are socialists as fuck when niggas is out of the conversation.
In what way?
Are you kidding me? Like in every fucking way.
Now,
Uh,
Danny
uh,
says that a small percentage of whites own black slaves. Here's my question: what percentage of whites were affected by Jim Crow?
Well, I mean, not even it's a small percentage of whites. You guys are familiar with? Are you guys familiar with Tony Martin
Yes, I
and
try.
the Jewish onslaught? He's a black man. He's affiliated with the NOI at the time, I believe, but he's a professor at the time. This was back during like the 90s, I want to say. But he actually wrote a book called The Jewish Onslaught, where he investigated and he provided what do you call it at the end of a book when they give you all the documentation
What
or
was that,
whatever,
like a
a
bibliography or something like
bibliography.
that?
Like he cited his sources, but basically highlighted, just like we now it's anti-Semitic to talk about the heavy Jewish role in, like,
In the
say, the
slave trade.
media or banking or whatever. Well, guess who had the heaviest involvement in that particular trade, right? But again, we don't look at that as that particular group. You say white folk, and then you can just sort of hide behind that obscurity. But in reality, no, if you want to talk about who ran the business, there was a very particular group of people. And most black folk don't really have a mind for the distinction. And at the same time, after we got free and after, big cities, we all industrialized and all that, now a different set of these people come along to teach us, it was them white folk all this time who was mistreating y'all, right? It was those white folk all this time. They set up this whole system to keep y'all down. Like, bro, I could really sit up all night and do a whole stream about the whole game that we've been sold, but then I'd have to take it off YouTube immediately.
But see, like, but what I'm saying is that, like, that's a conversation that could take place. But I'm going back to I've tailored my argument to not bring in any of those points, right? I've tailored my argument to specifically how can we benefit from conservative policy to improve our what is economic, social standpoint, right? And the thing is that when it comes to that, we have to already be aware of policies that are in existence and know exactly what we want. And that's another thing that I see as common weaknesses of both the right and both the left. It seems like people are more focused on wanting to be a part of something instead of actually wanting to get something out of it.
Thank you.
So aside from
Yes.
being a part of it, I want to know
Right.
what are we going to get from it? Like I haven't like diametrically, just directly been just noxiously opposed to anything that you said, conservative. But what I'm looking for is more of what are the things that you can give me to go back and look at and say, okay, this is something favorable that we can use to our advantage as far as on the conservative side. You know what I mean?
I mean,
What do you got to
one,
lose, my blacks?
I mean that was a great winning
It would have
winning move
sounded
for
better if
Trump.
it was what do we got to gain? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
what do you
saying?
got to lose? People talk about Biden's, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And they always forget what Trump said. Trump said, what do you got to lose, blacks? Nobody tells us what we get.
Did he
It's
literally
always
say
it's always
blacks
it's
though?
always a lesser of two evils choice for black men. Or you have nothing to lose. I don't have nothing to gain.
Well, one, I think that was speaking more to how badly the Democrat Party has served you to this point.
But
And the fact is,
right.
black people have two choices. You can vote Democrat or Republican. And we've been voting so heavily Democrat, and we
Under,
feel so
understood.
psychologically locked into voting
Understood.
Democrat.
But isn't
It's
that
an
the same
appropriate
benign neglect,
question.
though? Isn't that the same? Well, I understand all that. So
It's
pardon me
not
for
benign
talking.
neglect. You can't
Come on,
charge the
man.
Republicans with Democrats' neglect. What are
What
you
you no
doing? You going
no
to
no.
charge
What
Trump
I'm
with
saying
neglecting
is
you?
no. The statement is what do you have to lose, right? So again, and we
You
talk
ain't
about
got
politics.
nothing.
Hold
Are
on,
we
hold on,
gonna
hold on.
be? Are we
Let me
gonna
let me let me
sugarcoat the
make the
fact
point.
that you ain't got nothing at this point?
Let me make the point. We motherfuckers say, well, you can't talk directly to black people unless you either say you ain't got shit to lose, or if you don't vote for us, you don't get no pussy. Right? It's like you understand. This is how they when it comes to black men, both of these motherfuckers suck at trying to get our attention. They both suck. Again, nobody's campaigning for Biden or anybody on the left. They're
One,
both they're both guilty. Both parties are guilty of coming at niggas sideways, to be honest.
I don't
Right?
know that Trump was making an appeal directly to black men when he's saying you. What do you got to
He ain't
lose?
talking
That
to
was a
black
broader
women.
black appeal. That was
He's
a
not talking
broader
to black
pitch to the
women.
black
Yeah, but
vote.
forget
But
all that. Forget all that, hood servant.
voting and fucking is
I'm
directly to
asking,
black men.
I'm asking a black conservative. I'm not talking about Trump. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about none of that. I'm
Right.
talking to a black conservative male that I respect, that I want some viable reasons that I can take back to my audience that I have on my channel and tell them why they may possibly should look into certain conservative policies or conservative politicians.
Well, all right, fair enough. It's not even like a complicated thing. And this is what we were talking about before. Like there's nothing remarkable or nothing groundbreaking I'm gonna pitch to you. You want somebody who is about lower taxes because as a business owner, you get to keep more of your money, which means you made more money. And if you made more money, you can spend more money. If you can spend more money, you can hire more people. And now you get down to the average person. If the business owners can hire more people have jobs. If more people have jobs, the economy on the whole does better. The economy on the whole is doing better, then everybody is happier. The prices are going down. The champagne's flowing. It's like the 80s all over again. And maybe anyway. I'm just saying that right there will serve you economically, right? And then also this is a socio-economic thing. It's not just about the money, but closing the goddamn border. And not only do we close the border, we got to send some of these people home. All right, which is another jobs program in and of itself. All right, maybe we're gonna hire some of you niggas to help us get rid of some of these other brown motherfuckers. All right, how about that? How about you serve America by kicking some of these niggas out the country? All right, jobs. You niggas want a job? Jobs. Okay, I got jobs getting black people to chase brown people out of America. Fuck yeah! Like we're gonna sell you low taxes and building a wall and chasing the foreigners out of the country. And then on top of that, this is a little bit trickier, but the right wing is the only place you can really have this conversation.
Well, I think a lot of people
Who
are
do you
actually
really
moving
think
in
you?
that direction.
I know. I'm not gonna sell you something you don't want. But who do you think you can really talk to about the family court system? Who do you think you can really talk to about just the gender situation between men and women right now?
But
Like the fact
what I
that the
think that
government
you might be
actually
missing, Hood,
serves women more than men.
I think you might be missing the fact, to me, at least from my observation, it seems like people are naturally moving in that direction of what you're seeing and observing those things from their everyday observation
Black
and
people or the
environment.
Democrat Party? The Democrat Party isn't moving in this
No,
direction.
I'm talking about black people. I'm not talking about
Well,
the
I'm not.
Democrat. I'm not talking
I'm
about the Democrat Party at all. What I'm saying is
one.
that if you look at, I don't know what just happened to Marcus, but if you look at the numbers, the trends, the Democrat Party support from black people has been decreasing, not significantly, but it's been decreasing in increments. It's accelerated in the decrease recently, but like at the least since the 1980s. There's articles from the New York Times that talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of it, right nowadays, right, the normalized politics and the nonsense that they put in people's face that's just broadcast on the TV is so far to the left that if you're just a basic everyday normal liberal or even a moderate to this new generation of people, you're going to sound extreme right wing. So the question that I'm asking is that presents a unique opportunity to where people who would usually be diametrically opposed now have a lot of things in common. There's a lot of people right now, and you see it in New York City. Some of these people may be conservative, some of these people may be liberal, but one thing that they seem to agree on is that they don't want the sanctuary city status. Same thing in Chicago. I don't understand why those decisions are so hard to make when people are seeing this, and I don't understand why that kind of thing can't be galvanized upon. Like, see, like that's been my purpose in the conversation, and it's for some reason it's like we just can't get there.
Well, I mean, you're kind of when it comes to the people and the on the ground and in these cities, they're not going to get the messaging and all that because the city that they live in kind of controls the messaging that they get. So like everything in that city operates under the democratic voting apparatus, right? So how would right wing messaging even penetrate into a Chicago? Like
I
how
mean,
would
they could
a
use social media.
okay, they can give it a shot, but you're up against a machine is kind of the point I'm trying to lay out here. So it's a really difficult sell in that context. And this is also another reason why I say the Republicans should not I'm not gonna offer you anything spectacular. I'm not cutting coupons for you niggas. No, I do not think the Republicans should sell you something that they haven't been selling for the last 40 years.
Where did cutting coupons come from?
Well, the
I
idea
think we,
that I gotta offer
Well,
something special.
but
well,
no,
but I
but
didn't. What
I
I
think
said,
we made the arguments. Go ahead, Rob. I don't
yeah,
want
no,
to
no,
cut
you
you off.
good, bro. What I was gonna, again, like I don't know what conversation a lot of people in the comment section are listening to, but
Right.
what I said was that who does the responsibility lie on to know what policies and politicians they
The
want?
voter, bro.
I agree 100%.
And that's why I am not putting it on the Republicans to offer anything to black people whatsoever. Ultimately, the responsibility to save yourself is yours. And it's a
I agree.
very and I think it's a false notion that's put in front of Republicans as a sort of devil's choice. Like, well, what are you gonna offer the black people to save the black people? Nothing. Save yourself, nigga. Now, the problem is the solution is I also probably would help you with the things that you would determine would save you. But you niggas keep making the wrong choice, and
Hey,
it's
bro.
hard for you to sell that to
Like
people.
like I said earlier, I ain't got a problem saving myself. Get the fuck out of my way. And right policy to keep my path clear. That's
Now
all I'm
here's the
saying.
question.
And I ain't talking
Here's the
about. I
question.
ain't talking. Hold on. I ain't talking about. And I'm not talking about competition. I'm talking about illegal fucking practices like what they do in the Ice Cube right now with his
That's
football
not
league.
even but see, that's not even a black thing. Now again, that's not a, it's millionaires having a money fight though. See,
So
see,
I
are
don't
you
want to get.
telling
I
me
don't want to
right now?
sidetrack
No, no,
you
no.
because
Let's
you were
have
about
this
to say
part of the
something.
conversation. No, I want to have this part of the conversation now, respectfully, but I think this has to be laid out plainly. Are you going to tell me that right now, 2023, there are obstacles and impediments to a random black person succeeding?
If
Yeah,
he's to do what you're
there's
talking about, if
Name
there's
he's
these obstacles,
there's
impediments for a
you
random
wanted
black
you wanted
person
the
well now see
answer.
succeeding.
now mind you, you
You
said
wanted the answer
you're
to the
the
question.
you're the one that said the random impediments to a black person, right? Because what I'm gonna say
Well,
is
no,
that
yeah,
there's
yeah, a
impediments.
random black person. Ice Cube, he's got
So
a particular problem. He's going up against the NBA, trying to start essentially a competitive basketball business. All right, it's not 5-on-5, but the NBA sees it differently.
so now here's the thing. How do you look at market share? Because what I'm gonna say is that a random black person is gonna have the same issues that a random white person or a random anybody would have starting a business. In addition to the issues, the random issues that they would have, there's going to be all of the racial wealth gap issues that have to do with capital and capital generation. So just because I'm saying that a random black person is going to have issues dealing with starting a business, that would be you that would come in and say, well, white people can start business. I'm saying that white people have a lot of the same issues too.
Well,
I'm not the one saying that. You know what I'm saying? So like a
I
lot
think
of
that
times when we try to have these conversations, like a lot of stuff just gets inserted before it even gets a chance to be said. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I think the capital thing is a non-starter because it's nobody's fault that you were born poor or rich. You know, you
That's
come into life
incorrect.
with the crapshoot.
That's all. That's bullshit too. Well, go ahead, continue.
I mean that's wild. I mean, listen, the fact that some
So
people are born poor and some people are
right,
born rich is just
understood. But
the
so you
luck of the
saying so you
draw.
saying so what are you saying the wealth gap is based on?
The wealth gap is based on earnings. Like people have earned money, and not everybody is as good as it as everyone
Rob,
else is.
So my
Rob.
thing is if
I
black people
should have said
born
the racial wealth gap, but go ahead.
i-
Go ahead. The racial
Okay,
wealth
but
gap.
fair
if
enough.
if black people born before the 1960s, they did not have access to the same economy as what white people are dealing with. They didn't have the same access. Even in states that didn't have Jim Crow, every state had its own set of black laws. There were businesses, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, all of these other places. And a lot of that stopped the process of accumulating capital to be able to be used today. Now, what degree of difficulty that presents as far as people being able to start a business now, it's still something that happened, and it's still something that was never corrected. Now, a lot of these businesses that we're talking about that we're expected to be competitive with, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Chase Manhattan Bank, Wells
Right.
Fargo, these businesses have all been around since before we had full access to
Right.
the economy. And now my question is, me simply bringing that up will bring the response of you just want handouts. No,
Right.
my
Corny.
bringing this up is to ask, well, how does that factor in? You know what I'm saying? Should that just be ignored or what? Because like it's not ignored when it comes to other people. When it comes
Right.
to World War II, that was all done and wrapped up before the civil rights movement was, and they're still getting aid and different things like that as a result of World War II. Now, does that mean that I'm saying that we should get aid for all the people in the back? No, it doesn't mean that. But what I'm saying is how how can we compare where we are to these other groups of people? You
It's
know what
so
I'm saying?
funny.
Based on all of these things.
It's so funny, right? Like you and I would probably agree on the scamminess of that group of people getting all this money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We all know what's up.
Oh, but somehow it's not a scam when we want to get the same kind of money for the same kind of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, here's the thing, though. Is it the same kind of stuff? Because we're looking for issues for particular events for a one-time thing that we haven't gotten any of. These people have literally been getting them since the event and got an entire country behind it. It's the same thing, Hood Conservative. That's the same exact thing. 1-for-1 ratio, really?
I'm gonna address Freeman's.
It's not the same.
Hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna address this comment. This is why I can't fuck with conservative niggas sometimes. I'm gonna say sometimes. My man said, forked tongue, get out of my way and pass a law to force white men to lease commercial space to me. Is anybody in the chat in alignment with this shit right here? Based on race, he doesn't have to lease to me? This is the type of shit. And then niggas get mad when we call this shit coon shit. And I work very hard not to call some black conservatives by that name. But it's shit like this that evokes this. Get out, get the fuck out of my way. Free enterprise. See, again, niggas want to tell you that you don't deserve equal protection. It's a fucking amendment. Just like these white dudes be running around with their big AR-15s talking about the Second Amendment.
Yeah, and then also people getting upset about comparisons. Literally, that's what the census is.
Bro.
That's what the economic report is. They compare on the news all the time. Literally, when we get these polls that we're talking about, as far as blue states, red states, what demographics voted for who, those are comparisons. You do comparisons in math class, greater than and less than. The alligator mouth open at the larger number, that's a comparison.
So this bootstrapper bullshit, right? That niggas be on the right. So the system, which Rob has so eloquently laid out, has been, run by these people all this time while we have not been given chances to participate in it. Now, they shouldn't, pass laws to make it, to make it equal, to give us access to this system, right? But we're supposed to magically pull ourselves up. How the fuck does this work?
And then another thing is in this conversation, everybody that's talking about these tiers and different things like that, I've literally just asked the question, how does that comparison factor in? I didn't ask for any handout or anything. Like I said, I've tailored the conversation specifically to the requirements that the conservatives, I feel, would be laying out. Don't bring race into it. Don't ask for quote unquote handouts. What I said was, how could we be responsible and understand policies that if a conservative vote was given by us, we could utilize those policies from that particular politician to build wealth for ourselves. Talking about 3 black men here that's up on our panel. Right. And I have yet to get an answer from anyone.
Shout out to Shaka New. What's going on, bro? Imagine Walmart decided we ain't selling the niggas, and then every other supermarket followed suit. Well, they shouldn't pass laws to force them to sell your black ass, right?
Bro, it's more simple than that. It's more simple than that.
Hold on, let me
no, I'm just responding to Freeman's Journal, who I rock with you, bro, but that was a bit crazy. Like it'd be the extreme shit. Why don't we just be honest about this conservative shit? But matter of fact, before I even do that, Rob, what you was gonna say, and then I want to also
I was just gonna say, well, there's like when it comes to quote unquote unfair competition and different things like that, it's amazing like the the kind of exceptions that people will take when looking at certain quote unquote perceived unfair competition versus other. there's whole antitrust and anti-monopoly laws laid out that talk about not having unfair competition. But a lot of these same people will complain about quote unquote NFL super teams or NBA super teams and how combining all of these superstars on one team makes it impossible for other teams to win. That's unfair competition. But if we look at the way that the economics and resources are laid out here in the United States, why there shouldn't even be a conversation about unfair competition when it comes to us. And again, these people are so diametrically opposed to a simple conversation. The conversation is just about unfair competition.
Yo, this dude,
nobody asked for anything. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like it's just wild. The
Freeman,
talking points.
Freeman, you usually have some good points, but you slip in the day. You asked me, did you sue? That would imply there's a fucking law. You just made the argument that they shouldn't have laws to force these people to sell or to do business with me. But then you're going to ask me, did I sue? Bro, you're smarter than this shit, bro. Right. I know you're smarter than this.
And then all of my talking points were, how can we utilize these policies to do business amongst ourselves so we don't have to deal with that kind of situation that you're talking about and not ask for it from the government because we're already insulated by using our own businesses. And again, there's no response to that. So what this shows to me is that what people I think Hood Conservative might be back. I think he posted in a private chat. I think he might be in the studio.
Oh, okay. He dropped down. All right, let me add him up here. My bad.
But put me back in, coach.
Go ahead. You off the pitch. Go ahead, bro. I'm about to sit down. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think black people are asking for government to do something that only a people can do for themselves. I hear you. And I'm speaking to your particular situation.
Equal.
No, this is not an equal rights situation.
No. What I'm talking about is, and no, the government has to do that, right?
Let me explain why it's not, though.
What you're talking to him about might be, but what I'm talking about, because we're making two separate points, and I know you're talking to both of us at the same time. So, but go ahead. We're listening.
Let me maybe you're right, but let me say this, and you might be right after I say it, but let me say this. I think what you're asking for is for that no matter what particular group, black people somehow get what we imagine to be fair treatment. And that is a perfect world. And we will never have a perfect world. Even under this this is the most perfect government that humanity has, in my opinion, ever created up until this moment. And even under this most perfect system, it's not a perfect system, it's the most perfect we can make it. Even under this system, you won't win all the time.
That'll take this shit left. I ain't even touching that one.
Now, even under this most perfect system, you're not going to win all the time. And to counter that, the best thing you can do is have a group that is individually strong. And you're most likely not going to get that through government. In fact, government is more likely to not strengthen you.
There have been several attempts for black men to unify that have been pushed down directly by the same government you're talking about, with their focus groups, your COINTELPROs and shit like that. Let's
Communism.
not, again, hold on. Let's not talk as if, again, just like the other thing about black men need to work together with other men, like we ain't been doing that. There have been countless, right? Like the Matrix. We done tried to build Zion 1,000,000 times and then kick that shit down like a sandcastle. There have been plenty efforts. No, I just want to say this in reference to what you're saying. There have been plenty efforts for black men to unify in America. Let's not talk like we've been sitting here since slavery, waiting for the white man to give us some money. That's bullshit. Okay,
what's the other option then?
No, but
if we're not going to save ourselves, who is going to save us?
That's not what I'm saying either, bro. What I'm saying
is
what
I'm asking though.
But you're so what are you suggesting? If you're the one talking about being Republican, So what I'm
I'm really
saying is, you're
not.
saying,
I'm
what else
really
are we
not.
gonna
I'm really
do?
not talking about being Republican.
No, but that's what this
I,
conversation is about, bro. We
I
talking
get that.
about
I
politics.
appreciate that. I appreciate that, and
I'm
I'm
good.
trying to I'm trying to respect it in the bounds of the conversation you laid out. But I
Look,
don't think black people's problem is being Democrat or Republican. Black people have to accept the fact that nobody's going to come and save you.
bro, I've been saying that on YouTube since I've been here. That's not. I didn't say anything about
Okay,
somebody
I'm
coming
with
to
you.
save. Again, bro, y'all, whenever we get into these conversations, y'all be spinning niggas' words and the shit. Ain't nobody asked for no savior or nothing to come save me from shit. You said shit ain't fair, okay, but when niggas start playing dirty, everybody comes to save the world from niggas. That happens, right? If niggas start playing dirty, then it's a problem because everybody talk about victim, victim, victim. But as soon as we start reacting to shit in the same way that others would, then it's a problem, right? The niggas say, "Oh, fuck being the victim, I'm going to take it this way." Then that got to be shut down. Anytime motherfuckers standing too close together talking crazy, we get labeled what they call it, a black nationalist group, or I forgot what the
Black
term that
identity
they use.
extremist.
Say again.
Well,
Black identity extremist.
Black
no, no.
identity extremists, this type of shit, bro. So what I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
is,
Why would a country allow a group of people to try to form another
but
country
you're
in
saying
their
that's what we
own
need to
belly?
do. And
No,
so
that's not what I'm saying. That is
what do
no,
you
I
say?
am not speaking anything like one
So
of
what
these.
do you?
I
So
need
what do
my
you say?
own black. Why would a country allow you to tear itself apart?
I
You
don't
see
think
how
that's
dumb
either.
that's
That's not what I
crazy.
said either.
No,
That's
but
not
that's what
Marcus.
black.
That's
But
not
that's what the
Marcus or my
black.
argument.
That's what the black identity extremists essentially
Bro,
want.
no, that's bullshit
So,
too.
so of course the government is right to quash you niggas who want
Hold,
to start
hold
a
on.
civil
The
war.
problem that I
But
have, but they don't quash Chinatown, they don't quash Koreatown and all this other
Chinatown is
shit.
not trying to. Chinatown is not a separatist
well,
movement.
here's the
They
thing. When
want
it
to
No,
be
comes to
Chinese within the American
let me just
context.
say this. Let me just say this
Show
real
me a
quick.
Chinatown or this town or that town they drop bombs on in this motherfucker.
Hold on, real quick, Marcus. Let me just say this. When it comes to
Go
this,
ahead.
right? The whole identity
Knock it off, man.
extremism. Like I hear what Hood Conservative is saying, right?
No, that's bullshit.
But
Go ahead.
it is to this particular point, right? Now, as far as these people, these like sovereign citizens and Nation of Islam and Black Hebrew Israelites, all of these people who just go around committing so many hate crimes against all other groups of people, right? What areas of government have they been found to infiltrate? Now, when it comes to
None.
other groups, what areas of government have they infiltrated? What did the most recent CIA reports that came out talk about as far as far right and white supremacist extremist groups? That's just another statistic that white people are beating us in government infiltration.
I mean, like, do you really think a far right? Like, do you really think America is anywhere near? We're about to die for Israel. You really think a far right supremacist movement is taking over the country? What are
I
you
mean,
niggas reading on Sunday
again,
morning?
what are you breathing? Because we could say that AIPAC
We're about to
is
have
exactly
World
that.
War III to defend Israel. That's the situation that we're on the verge of.
We could
What are the
say
far rights who
we
moved
could
into government doing about that?
we could say that those far right government movements, going back to the beginning of the conversation, have been bankrolled by AIPAC, who is
Well,
also a
then
majority white organization.
but again, that's not the white that black people understand it to be, because if it's all being done in the
It's not about
service of this
it's
particular group of people,
within the
then you've
context of this.
totally obliterated the
So-
black-white construct that most black people are operating under.
What are we operating under in this conversation? Are we going based on what we're talking about in here, or as it serves us, are we going out to the wider community and then bringing it back here? Because again, like most of the stuff that we start going on these tangents on is not stuff that we disagreed on.
I'm with you, but see, when you start saying like the far right,
I didn't
all
say that,
right,
bro. I want to make that clear. The CIA said that. As much as
right,
people in the
right,
comment
right,
section
right.
are upset, the same government that we supposedly have all the exact same opportunities from are the ones that came out with those statistics.
But
I
that's
didn't.
kind of what that's kind of what I'm getting at when I say black people have been sold this narrative. Like, you really think there's a white racist boogeyman trying to prevent you
Bro, why
from
you
like
not
Who
answering?
said
No,
that?
bro, you're not. Hold on.
well, no, the CIA saying that the far right has taken over certain positions in the American
So
government.
the
Isn't that what
CIA
I
is
was just
lying to
told?
us. Hold on. So the CIA
Yeah,
is selling
I
us the
don't
bill of
see it,
goods.
bro. Yeah, I think. Oh, hold on. Are you telling me the CIA would never lie to you?
I'm not saying that, but would they tell this lie? Is this the lie they want to tell? Bro,
Yes, they would.
That CIA,
Why the fuck would they not?
that CIA
Hold
is
on.
the same government that you get your female statistics from, right? So I
Maybe it is.
and not trust them for the
Yo, bro, listen, hold on.
I'm just
Hold on.
shocked that black people seriously think some kind of white boogeyman is after them with
That's not
all
what we're
the
talking about,
things.
bro.
So what is the CIA trying to tell us? What's the CIA trying to tell us?
let's make this clear.
Bro. Sometimes,
CIA
hold on. Slow down. I hate this when we have these conversations with niggas on the right. Shit gets real disingenuous. Let's not, again, the whole boogeyman thing. Nobody said any of that. Nobody said anything alluding to a boogeyman or this, bro.
Nobody said the CIA was the beacon of honesty.
Right. On one end, you'll say, well, you know, why should the white man let you do this? You know what I'm saying? He got to keep your black ass down or whatever. So you acknowledge the reality of that. But then you talk about we're imagining shit and this boogeyman shit, bro.
Okay.
Come on, bro. Nah, you got to stop that, man.
If
That
the
shit
CIA,
disingenuous as
if
fuck,
the
bro.
CIA can, so we all acknowledge that the CIA use feminism to attack the black community, but it won't use race war to do it.
So let me ask you this. So
No. That was a question. That was a question, brother. That was a question. If the CIA is willing to use feminism to attack the black community, are they above using a race war?
What would be the purpose of telling us that? Like, what is that supposed? What's supposed to be the outcome?
What's the purpose of a dog chasing his tail?
Bro, come on, man. See, this is Rob, man.
That's it. No, that's literally it. That's literally it. As long as we no. You asked the question, and I know I gave a facetious answer, but not really.
You actually gave a facetious question.
If the CIA keeps us chasing our tails, we never win. Fuck who else wins? We always lose.
Hood. Who's chasing their
Hood? Oh my God.
Who's chasing their tails? I literally just brought
Black
that up.
America. Black America has been chasing its tail since the civil rights movement.
Are we talking about Black America, or are we talking about three black men talking about politics?
No, I am talking about Black America. We are three black men talking about Black America. And I am saying, as one of these three black men talking about Black America, is in terms of the CIA, when it was brought up, yes, the CIA, just like they would use feminism to keep Black America chasing its tail, why do you think they're above using racism to keep Black America chasing its tail? The same way black women think. The same way black women, because of feminism, think that black men are their enemy. Why not racism as the exact same argument?
But who said that the government was above that? This is you making this argument and then saying keep it 100. See, Rob, like you guys follow the government. Like nobody.
No, you told me that the government. You told me that
the report.
Right. Right. So
just like how
the CIA is lying to you about racism, like they lied to the women about feminism.
Just like how the government put out the Moynihan report.
The CIA.
What I'm saying is that I've never said to trust the government. Way in the beginning of this stream, I said that I don't trust the government. So
I don't understand the argument of trying to tell us not to trust the government, but we're having a conversation about the Republican Party, who we should trust. I'm trying to understand
conservatism as well, not just the party.
Well, again, I spoke to conservatism, but again, when I spoke to conservatism is a position on this or that particular thing. The party is not a point of view. The party is the party. All right, it's a political party, and the question has been what it has been from the beginning of this. What I'm saying is, bro, again, you acknowledge that white folks should have an agenda to stop black people from forming this or that. So you acknowledge that.
I never acknowledged that.
You said they should. This is what they should do. This is what you said.
When did I say white folks should have an agenda to stop black people? When did I ever say that? I said there is a one group of people who have an agenda, and
No, it's not one
I
group.
never
We
put
said
that
when
on white
black,
people. I have
call.
never
Hold on,
tonight.
they call anybody that tries to start any type of movement, right? Like everybody else has their groups together. They call them, what you want to call them, black extremists or black this or black that. Even when with the whole Fred Hampton shit, when they ran up in there and shot the shit out of him. So I guess the FBI is also lying when they talk about American policing in black men and black people, right? We shouldn't believe none of these people because they just telling us this, so we'll be chasing our tails. All of this shit is bullshit, right?
Well, and also what this conversation shows me is that people on the right have about the same lack of respect for actual facts that people on the left do. And the reason why I say that is because, as far as the reason why I brought up the CIA report, is that people should have some idea of what's true versus what's false. The same way that, like, you and I agreed on that the voters have a responsibility to know what they're voting for. So to me,
COINTELPRO was the boogeyman, right? Like that didn't happen.
They were communist.
Bro, were they the government?
They were communist, though.
Bro, you're not answering the question.
COINTELPRO happened, yes, but they were also communist.
Who was you saying they were communists for who? Like, were they the U.S. government?
No, the U.S. government initiated the counterintelligence program. That's what COINTELPRO means, counterintelligence.
I know what it means, bro. Come on, man. Don't do that to
you're
me,
saying
bro.
it like
What
it's this
I'm asking you,
nefarious thing, like they're
who did they work
communists. Why
for?
are we not supposed to spy on communists who want to take your
No,
country down?
hold on, because I want to kill this boogeyman shit. Who did J. Edgar Hoover work for?
He worked for the federal government, whose
For the
job it is to
federal
protect the
government,
country.
right?
So if communists want to tear your country down, why is it bad to suppress them?
You say what now?
If communists want to tear your country down, if they want to take over your country, why is it bad to suppress people who openly state they want to tear your country down?
I'm not following you down that disingenuous rabbit hole. At the end of the day, this idea this argument that you're trying to make that we've invented, black people have invented this idea of a boogeyman, right? This racial boogeyman in America. Like there's no basis for it. And there doesn't continue. Hold on. There continue to be no basis for it. And the shit that I'm talking about is beyond slavery, bro. Like, you were talking about your Jim Crows, your this, your that, or your American policing, or even the CIA thing. It's like everything we mention is, there's reason to, we don't believe that, or it's a lie, or this and that. And just like he said earlier, it's the same people we get our census, our CDC info, and all this other shit that when we argue about something else, all this shit is valid, and the bitches say, no, I don't believe that, this and that, and we laugh at them and shit like that. But then you want to dismiss these facts and this information because it goes against another narrative. That's bias, bro. That's bullshit.
You want me to believe that on the one hand, the entire government is conspiring to
nobody said
President
that.
Trump.
You're reaching again.
I'm trying to also add other facts to connect to this. So the government is trying to conspire to take Trump out, but it's also secretly full of white supremacists.
You respond to us with arguments we never made. You're doing what?
Don't bring up the CIA if I can't reject their argument.
No, the CIA ain't the whole government, though, bro.
Well, all right. So the CIA is saying that white supremacists are taking over secret spots in the government, but they're also letting the government prosecute Trump.
Let's lay out what parts of the government we're not allowed to take information from to make that easier for everybody.
Okay. Where are we going with this?
Nah, because
I'm waiting for you to give us guidelines about who we can use.
Right.
I never said who you couldn't use. I'm just saying it's an absurd argument,
bro. You're saying
that somehow white supremacists are just just secretly like
it's not
fucking
our argument.
it's
We
like
didn't
not
hold
Order
my
on. We didn't
66,
create
right?
this information.
I didn't write the CIA report.
Right,
It's
we didn't
like
create this. What are you talking about?
it's
Fam,
like Order
fam,
66, right?
fam.
Somebody is waiting to flip the switch, and all the
Hood,
white supremacists are just
hood.
gonna pull their hoods down.
Hold on. You act like some niggas. You act
Secretly,
like
like, I
niggas sat in the
finally
room and
got you
wrote this.
niggas.
And I didn't
So
even
you're
say that.
so anything that comes out the same government, you're telling us to again. He said, what parts of government are we to reject
Hey, the
information?
government told me to protect myself from that virus. I didn't trust them about
He's not
that
going to answer
either.
the question, bro. He's not going to
I'm
answer
just
the question.
saying, sometimes the government
Nah,
say some shit, and it's like, I know
he's
y'all
not going to
niggas
answer
is
the question.
crazy.
Well,
I
He's
know
not going to
y'all
answer the
full of
question,
shit.
bro.
I don't
let
care
me-
how many
I'm-
stripes
He's
you
not
got
going to
on
answer
your
the question,
chest.
bro.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take your position real quick, and I'm gonna play defense attorney for white people. COINTELPRO also hemmed up a bunch of white supremacist groups, the KKK, and if I'm not mistaken, the Minutemen militia. Now, that is a report that came out of the FBI. So should we believe that or not? Which is one of the reasons why I'm asking, what parts of the government are we going to believe and what parts are we not, so that we
Right.
can move on with the
Who's
conversation.
so is it race
All right.
baiting when they tell us this, and then it's real shit when
One,
they tell us some how many people got shot in Chicago or some shit? Like, because we know niggas on the right like to use that. So
I
what
am not saying the government lies about every single thing. I distrust the black vision of things. And again, if the CIA tells me that white supremacists are secretly taking over parts of the American government, I need more proof. I'm like, all right, cool story, bro. But it just sounds far fetched that there's
you're
all
saying
these white supremacists just
so we ain't
popped
never
up.
had. Hold on. So you telling me that this system, because at one point the Klan was at every fucking level. So you're telling me that it's impossible to fathom.
Was it really?
No, bro. Let me make the point first. Are you telling me? So you gonna just basically deny everything that we propose to you? Is that what it is? Nah, white people ain't doing that.
Bro.
Nobody's doing this. No, I don't believe this. So you just gonna reject everything that gets said to you, right? Is that the strategy?
I don't reject it. I question it. I question
No,
everything.
questioning it is cool, but you're questioning it as you rejecting it. Questioning it. You're saying, "Oh, I don't believe. Oh, you really think that?" No, bro, that's a rejection, bro. Don't tell. Nah, don't. You know, I was about to say
you don't ask
BGS
questions
me, but
because you know. I mean, listen,
bro,
I'm not asking questions because I believe you. I ask questions because I don't believe you.
So anything that alludes to any sort of racism in America, you're going to just reject.
No, I need you to give me more than your claim. That's all I'm saying. Don't
It's
just
not our
tell me to
claim. It's
believe
what
your
they wrote.
claim.
And
Hold on,
Tell
how is it
me.
our claim?
All right, so all right, fine. If the CIA says it, that's one claim.
They
I need more
look,
evidence
they
of it.
all, you know what?
What other
The
evidence do
CDC
you
also
have?
claims that 75% or 80% of black women that have children are single. Should we reject this too? Like what?
Oh no,
what
I can see that with my
information?
eyes. I can look around. I can drive through the nearest black
Okay.
community and see
So
that with my eyes.
but if I told you what I could see with my eyes, then I'd be making an anecdotal argument. That's how you would shut that down, right? So let's be honest, bro. Like you're saying this like we made it up.
I'm not saying you made it up. I think it's a far-fetched claim.
What is the claim? Because
it's not a claim. It's what they said.
That somehow
about a boogeyman.
No, that a white supremacist.
And then there was a period at the end of it. I didn't say that these people in the report are creating this crazy environment and that black people have a plastic bag over our heads and are suffocated at everything that we try to do. I didn't say that. What I said was that when it comes to the comparison of black identity extremists, right, which you said that the government had a case against, which they did because you were right. They are identified as communists, right? I said that in that same breath, there are more, I guess what you would call white identity extremists, and there's multiple sources of citation to prove that. That's it. Now, if you want to go on case-by-case basis, we could talk about the executioners, police gang.
No. Let's stop right there. That's not the point of disagreement. The point of disagreement, and correct me if I'm wrong and you bringing this up, the point of disagreement is that these white supremacist identified people were infiltrating parts of the government.
That
That
is
was
what
the
the CIA.
charge.
That's not the charge. That's what the CIA report says.
Right. That's what the CIA is charging. That's their charge, not yours. Okay.
Right.
So now we've both established that parameter. All I'm saying is that sounds crazy.
But it sounds more
So
believable
if the
that
white
black identity is
Based on what though?
wait.
How
It
you
sounds
Because
feel,
niggas been running amok. Based on what do you
bro?
mean? Based on
Bro,
what? Niggas been
based,
running amok since George Floyd died. And now all of a sudden you're gonna tell me that these white supremacists have been secretly placed in positions in the government and they just been sitting back watching niggas run crazy and they ain't did
that's
shit.
the
They
basis
ain't
of your
done nothing. So
argument,
what are they
niggas.
doing?
so there's
You,
a group of people called the Wolverine
so
Watchmen, white supremacists, who came to Minnesota and burned down the police stations during the George Floyd riots, right?
yeah, there's a
Now,
lot of white people was wilding during that George
here's
Floyd
the
shit.
thing. Nobody said that those white supremacists they were talking about in the CIA report are causing all of the disruption among black people. Nobody's taking the responsibility away from black people's own disruption. What the reason why that was brought up is because what you said was that the Black Panthers and all these other groups were communist, right? And I said, yes, that's true. There are other groups of people who were also affected by COINTELPRO, white groups of people. The difference between the black groups and the white groups is that there's less evidence of government infiltration. That was it. Nobody said that, we can't make money because of that. I didn't say you or Marcus don't have the opportunity to make $100,000 or $200,000 a year because of that. It was simply
Now
a
I'm gonna call
statement
your
of the fact.
bluff. Now I'm gonna call your bluff. The fucking Congress kneeled with kente cloth on and put their fist in the air for Wakanda, and you're gonna tell me that white
Really?
supremacists secretly infiltrated the government? No, the government has chosen a side, and
That's the
it's
Bro,
worst.
niggas.
That's
you
the
said
worst argument you
that's
made
a
all
really
night,
bad
bro.
argument because you said that all of that
That's
stuff with
trash.
black people going wild. You said that the state of the black community, black people going wild, is why black people are doing so bad. So if there are white supremacists in the government and they see, as you said, niggas going wild is the worst thing, that's what they're going to encourage. So that argument that you just made doesn't really help.
No, they wouldn't encourage that because niggas going wild is also getting white folk killed. And why would white folk allow that if they were in positions of power in the government to stop that?
You talking about George Floyd again?
No, I said white folk getting killed.
No. You talking about niggas running wild?
The white people getting killed.
No, this is post Floyd.
But who are the white people getting killed though?
Well, again, you never mind. Jeez,
Nah, because it sounds like you freestyling a little bit.
I just want to know who they are. Who got killed?
Yeah, no white person has died since George Floyd has been murdered by the police. No,
Nobody
you're
said that.
absolutely
I want to
right.
know.
You're
See, like,
absolutely
Nobody said
right.
that.
no,
Yeah,
when it came to my arguments, I gave
bro.
specific arguments.
I hate these kind of arguments, bro. With motherfuckers you
Nah,
just pulling shit out your
cause
ass, man.
no,
Nobody
no,
said
no.
all
What?
of that.
So you gonna tell me that black folk, niggas in the hood, would rather not rob white folk because white folk more than likely have money than the average black person walking
No,
around? That's not
nobody
the way
said
that
that.
works.
Nobody said
So
any of that.
so so
When we're
when I make
asking,
the argument, so hold on, when I make the argument that
man,
the black crime rate also leads to more white folk getting killed by black people, why y'all act like I'm crazy?
Because that's not even the
we
point.
didn't even go down crime statistics or
Yeah, that's not even the point, bro. Bro, you know what you doing? Motherfuckers ask you a question and
No,
you'll reach. Hold on. Motherfuckers ask you a question and you'll reach from bum fuck Egypt for a response that's not an answer. You're doing a lot of non sequitur shit,
no.
bro.
You
Nah,
are
you kind
not
of are,
seeing
bro.
the
You do
simple
it,
logic of your
bro.
own
You do
position.
you do it.
Your
Nah,
own position has
there's
a
a
very simple logic to it. If there are white supremacists in any position of power in the government, why would they sit in these influential positions of power in the government and watch black people go on a 3-year an epidemic of crime, shooting, robbery, and murder that inevitably
what they shooting and robbing and murdering?
victimizes more white people? More white people are being killed, and they're watching that, not doing anything, but they took
what are
over
we
the
talking
government.
about? What are we talking about?
Oh, we lost hood service.
He'll be back. I want to know what killing spree niggas went on after George Floyd that I don't know about.
And then another thing is that there was somebody in the chat that said that white people run into the police and do things wrong too. I don't think that there's anybody that said that they didn't. White people get killed by the police. All of the people that think they're funny with those comments, they probably can't name many white people that got killed by the police. There was a particular situation in Colorado where a dude named Zachary Gifford got shot 3 times in the back by dirty cops. And none of these outlets, like the conservative outlets, none of these people even talked about any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Look, we're gonna start ending this. We've been here for three joints.
I'm just saying. Hold on, my last point. If the white supremacists, as the CIA put, if the white supremacists have taken up positions in the government, what the fuck are they doing?
No, but what I'm asking you is,
well,
one thing would
don't
be,
answer my question with a question. I need a definitive statement from you guys. What
you
are they doing?
Hold on. You ain't been answering shit. We've been asking you.
And then
ask me a straight question. I give you a straight answer.
And then you say answer the question. And then as soon as somebody opens up their mouth to answer,
I never answer your question with a question, bro. I have never done that. Not once tonight.
See, you actually have. I'll clip it for you.
If I answer your question with a question, then I was wrong. You got me on that, but that's
okay.
Crazy.
I was about to say we could put money on that.
If you saying I did it, I'll take you at your word.
Right.
The shit crazy. I shouldn't have done it unless I was trying to make a rhetorical point or something.
We're gonna do this now.
What are they doing though? What are they doing? I still need to know. What are they doing if they've taken up positions of power? What are they doing?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
There's a whole probe going on right now with San Jose Police Department. First. Second of all,
I bet you they Mexican.
I can't fuck with this nigga. Oh my God, no, I'm done.
No, look, check this out. Look,
it's
I'm
done.
Give it to you. Look,
it's
I'm
done.
Give it to you 100. I'm gonna give it
it's
to you.
Done.
It's
done.
It's done.
I knew that was Mexican. I knew that was fucking Mexican.
It's done, bro.
You said San Jose. You said San Jose. I knew they were fucking Mexicans.
Yo, I fucks with this guy. Yo, look. I don't give a fuck. We disagree all night. I fucks with this nigga. I swear to God.
Wow,
yo, I can't do it. Look.
Listen, my racism hasn't let me down yet. I knew they were Mexican. I knew it in my bones.
I'm fucking done, bro. I'm done. Yo, Rob, I don't even got.
All I was about to say was, if you know a Mexican named McNamara that can make a good Shamrock Shake conservative, let me know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, this nigga! Oh my God!
Nah. You were saying something about San Jose, though.
Yeah, and the cop is an Irish dude named McNamara. But hey, I'll try.
Listen, look. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I know somebody personally who was set up by a white cop. I am not saying the shit don't ever happen, but
you wanted to know about the network. I was gonna give the whole network, man.
McNamara and San Jose.
Then you got the entire network of the executioner police gang. Then you got the Banditos police gang. And then you got the situation of Jackie Johnson in Atlanta. You know about Jackie Johnson or who she is, the DA?
These are all the most Democrat places in the world, but all right.
And the FBI and the CIA are bipartisan, right? Depending on what the majorities are.
I don't know. I don't know if they're bipartisan. I think the CIA is its own thing now.
So, like, the thing is that these things exist. And the thing is also, like, by over inflating the argument to saying that, this event that took place in California is just, it's just black man victimhood and all this shit. Nobody said that. We literally, if we talked about, Independence Day, 1776, 4th of July, like, that's an event that took place. These events that I'm talking about are events that took place. And as much as people may not like it, they're events that took place. Nobody's saying that we can't succeed or be better or improve or do whatever. We're just saying that these events took place, and that if these events wouldn't take place, or if we could prevent them from taking place in the future, it might make things a little bit easier. You know what
I'm with you. I think we want to get to the same place. We're just mapping out different paths.
I agree.
My position is more or less that when it comes to our, let's say, competition among other groups for our place in America, you can't expect any other groups to care for you as much as you should care for yourself.
I
And
agree.
so even though you might not be wrong in bringing up a particular incident of this group doing something that makes black folk,
But then you're
or
telling
puts
us
us in a
we're
bad
talking
spot.
about boogeymen.
Well, for one, I think most black people complain way too much about racism, and most of these stories are ghost stories. Because when you talk about shit like systemic
Nah, bro,
racism, very
bro,
little actual systemic
bro,
racism.
bro. If you can accept, and this is, let me. I'm gonna give you some stone cold, some stone cold shit. I accept the idea that this group who run shit, in order for them to keep running shit, it would be in their interest to keep other motherfuckers from rising to be equals. That makes sense to me.
Right.
It also makes sense to me, right? It also makes sense to me, especially if the motherfuckers that you're trying to, not have be your equals, you've done shit to. If you can accept what I just said and agree with it, then you can't also say, nah, that shit y'all talking about they might be doing or they could be doing, or that the people that work for them wrote that down that they're doing. Nah, I need to see more proof for that. We got as much proof as we need, bro, that these things happen, right? As much proof as we need. And it's funny when I see black men try to either deny racism historically or systemically, it just bugs me the fuck out. Now, if we want to, this is the approach that niggas should take. All bullshit aside, accept that white people are racist, accept that this shit ain't fair, accept that this shit is against you, and then with that knowledge, you move from there. But don't gaslight me into thinking I'm fucking delusional. All right? If you're gonna sell me on something, don't sell me that no, this thing that you see, like you said, well, if I see bitches in the hood pushing baby carriages, then I'm inclined to believe blase blase blah. Well, I've experienced the shit that I'm talking about, right? So don't tell me the shit ain't there. Don't tell me the wind ain't there because I don't see it, but I feel that motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Don't gaslight me. So what I'm saying to you is, and to everybody in the fucking chat that's waving a Republican flag, don't gaslight me, bro, because it's insulting my intelligence. I accept all of those things that I mentioned earlier. I'm not saying, oh, it should be equal, they should love me and this and that. No. Let's walk with, yo, them motherfuckers over there. Nah, they the motherfucking ops.
And
Let me
Don't tell me.
nobody's been
let me
bashing
ask.
Republicans.
Right.
Nobody's been
No,
bashing
no.
conservatives.
So what I'm saying is, let's walk into this shit with truth. If you're gonna be a nigga selling the right to another nigga, don't come with that. But are they really racist though? Bullshit. Okay? Like the motherfuckers wasn't doing that shit to them black people at that Trump rally, right? Like the Tea Party was a thing before Obama. Like, don't tell me my eyes are deceiving me and my ears. If you can see bitches in the hood pushing baby carriages, I can see this shit. Hold on.
This.
Hold on 1 second. What I'm saying is, tell me, yeah, this is a thing. Yeah, this is what we got to deal with. And let's take that. It's just like when I tell niggas what they dealing with bitches, right? I'm not going to lie to them like some other motherfuckers in this space might do. Yeah, and I said that. I'm going to tell them the fucking straight truth and tell them how to move accordingly. Tell us the real, and then we'll know how to move accordingly. Don't tell us that what we're seeing and feeling and experiencing ain't happening to us. Come on, fam. And this is why niggas can't fuck with the shit. Because it's disingenuous. Period, bro. If you're going to accept that, yeah, they should. I understand all these things, man. Let's move forward that way. instead of trying to convince me that, you know, we're all brothers in arms and we're all men and we all want to get to the same place and achieve the same goals and share values. And that's a lie, because it's not the truth, bro. And it ain't been true since America. Period, bro. It ain't been true since America. All men are created equal does not include you, nigga. Period, bro. And it's been this way. Go ahead, bro. Say what you want. Turning my mic off, nigga.
The thing about the Trump supporters, there may have been one guy who started something and got roughed up and dragged out of a Trump rally, like one guy. Trump supporters got beat up when they went to Chicago. All right, just regular people just got beat up when they went to Chicago. So I don't know if the violence is comparable. And then frankly, when it comes to Black people in America, and keep it 100, you might be in a more unique position in that you've seen things and been in places not the average Black person gets to go in. But you also are familiar with the average Black person at the same time. Do you really are you telling me that most Black people are doing what it takes and making the proper decisions that they have to make in order to succeed in this country? And because they've done what it takes and made the proper decisions, that the only thing holding them back is the racism of America. I firmly believe most Black people in this country are where they are in life because of decisions that they've made. Very few Black people, maybe there are some, I know there have to be a handful of Black people who are fucked up in the game because of the actions of a specific racist person. There's a couple. It's got to be a couple. That nigga name probably Tyrone. But outside of that, most Black people, if you fucked up in the game, if you're doing well in life, it's because of you, nigga.
Bro, listen, I hear you, but culture is a thing. All right, culture is a thing. All right, you see how when other groups of Black people come over here, would you say like the non-ADOS Black people move like the Black people here when they get here?
Of course they don't. That's why they don't.
Because they did not grow up in this culture. They grew up in another culture. And to say that it, you know, you're gonna have outliers, you're gonna have exceptions to that, right? But culture affects most people. Most people are products of their environment. Okay, so it's nice to say what you're saying, but shit, even the trailer park white people are products of their environment. I've been around those, like you said earlier. I've had the luxury of being in places, bro. I've been in towns with the poorest white motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life.
I know. I've met some of them.
Okay,
too.
so what I'm saying is, we don't look to those people to judge white people as a group. We don't. Now, those people might be doing something to where they won't escape the trailer park. So I hear what you're saying, but when you give access to a group of people, right, and they take advantage of that access, and they've always had that access, that culture is going to be largely different than the people who haven't had access, and now they got to do other shit. Okay, so
well, hold on. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this now.
Go ahead, bro.
If you acknowledge that culture has that much influence on whether or not a group has higher or lower success averages, then doesn't that kind of absolve what you're calling like white supremacy?
No, because the culture comes from that. Now, see, if I start talking about the history, then somebody gonna be like, "Oh my God, slavery." Oh my God, Jim Crow. Like none of this shit means nothing. Like Trump's fucking father or grandfather didn't come over here, do a bunch of crimes, get the family rich, and now he's still eating off that money. But if a nigga sells some drugs or do some illegal shit, they take everything.
Well, niggas did the
Under,
wrong
hold on.
crimes. Obviously,
Under,
you got to do the
but
Trump crime.
again,
Whatever crimes
bro,
Trump did or the
I'm
Kennedys
not talking
did,
about
niggas was
Trump
supposed to do.
himself.
We
No,
should have
bro.
did those crimes.
What I'm talking about is history. White people were allowed to get rich in this country and build wealth in a time where blacks wasn't. Rob already spoke to that. So that would affect the future. Okay, so the denial of access to certain things, especially like industries and things like that, niggas had to find other ways, and some of those ways were criminal. To be honest, you had a lot of white people, Italians, Irish, come from other places that engaged in some of the same shit, but they could, in ways that black people couldn't, infiltrate certain levels of government. Now, I dare you to tell me that's bullshit because history says that's true, right? The average Italian or Irish mobster or whatever, they could do business and do things with the police and local government that black people could not.
Yeah, ask Frank Lucas and Nikki
Right?
Bond about that.
Right. So let's cut the bullshit here and blame the fucking outcome, right? You know, the outcome and fuck history. Let's just talk about how niggas is now. Like we just came over here, like white people, like here we're giving you, like we came over here on a boat for an opportunity. We're not immigrants, bro. So knock that shit off, bro. Like, come on, man. At the end of the day, I'm with you. Like, we done look. This ain't then. This is now. There's a lot of things we could do now, but let's not talk like the history didn't get us here.
I
Because
have to talk
that's
that way.
anybody. No, but that no, bro, knock it off.
Let me
That's
explain. No,
that's
I'm explain
human.
why.
That's human beings. That's humanity. That's world history, man.
It's not.
Come on,
It's
man.
not. It's not. You know why?
It's not.
Because I'm explain why. We're
mic's
not
off.
fucking special, bro. We're
My mic's
not
off.
special. We are
My mic's
not
off.
special. We are
No,
not
let me tell you.
special.
Let me
Hold-
tell you.
Let me
Let me
say.
tell
Let
you
me
how
say
we're
this last
special.
part. Let me say this last
Let-
part. We are
Go
not.
ahead.
You know why? Because in America right now, we are going up against people who have their own tragedies, their own histories. Some of it may actually be worse than a little bit of Jim Crow, and frankly, they don't give a fuck. And
Bro,
we're giving ourselves excuses in the face of people who don't have excuses.
Let me tell you how we're special. And I want to hear from Rob. And then we about to shut this down. There got to be a part 2 to this. You know,
Yeah,
this
we
Hey,
need
who's
to
down
witness
for
too
who's
many
down for a
areas.
part? Who's down for a part?
We're gonna have to get Tice ass up in here in the future. Tice is definitely on the list of people. He already hit me tonight, like, yo, can you jump in? I'm like, nah, man. If I bring Tice up, we're gonna be here for another 3 hours. But what I'm saying is this, bro. Let me tell you why we're special. There's been more than one government effort against black people in the history of America. Name me anything that is equal for any other group of people in America. That's the unique shit. And I understand. I go with what you're saying. Look, we can't let these niggas that we used to put whips on their backs gain any power. I understand that. But don't tell me that while you understand that there's a boogie, like we on some boogeyman shit. Bro, at the end of the day, there's no government agencies that were created to keep down another. Name me the other group of people that they created government agencies to thwart the progress
The
of. Please,
Chinese.
what was the name of the organization?
Well, they had Chinese exclusionary acts. I don't know of a specific organization outside of the immigration, but like the Chinese were discriminated against viciously out west. I mean, they were essentially slaves post-slavery when it came to like building the railroad and all that. It's kind of the part of the reason why there's like Chinatowns out west, because they just had a natural population coming over here trying to be a part of like the American West. And
The
they
Chinese got
abused.
reparations for those executive orders that created that situation, and so did the Japanese for the
The Chinese got reparations, really? Explain
So
that
did
to me.
so did
That's
Italians.
That's new to me. I never heard of Chinese reparations before. Like all Chinese people get a check, or just like some? How
The
does that
people that
work? Because
were
it's
the
billions of
people
Chinese.
this is what you did last time when you asked me about specific events. You want to let me explain?
No, I'm gonna give you the floor. I was just making a point. I was being funny, but nah. Tell me how Chinese got reparations.
For that particular group that you were talking about dealing with the West Coast Railroad, there was a government order on the state level that gave them reparations. Like I said, just like the executive orders, every group in the United States that's dealt with an atrocity has had a matching legislation that gave them some type of recompense about what it was that they went through.
How did the Chinese get recompense for all the what was it exactly?
He
I'm
just
curious.
explained
I've
it to
never
you,
heard.
bro.
No, this is the first I've ever heard of any
Again,
kind of money. So
he's gonna reject it, bro.
no, I'm not rejecting it. I'm asking you to give me more details. So like, all right, what state was it, and who gave what to whom? Like
California.
California.
The California government, the same way that the California government gave back the Manhattan Beach property that was taken away from that black family, and then created zoning laws to not allow them to use it for commercial property, and they had to sell it back to the government of California for $20 million.
Right, but see, that goes to a particular family, or at least a group of families, when you talk about like a
Right,
particular set of property.
Bro,
So when it comes to quote the
Hey, check this.
Chinese,
the
that's a
same way
Hey,
that
hold
broad
on.
the
group of
Japanese,
people. So what did they give?
the same
No,
way that
because
the Japanese
Japanese were
did.
individually interned, so they made individual
And the
cases
Good.
individual
about their
Chinese people,
individual property.
the
You
individual
talking about a group
Japanese.
of Chinese people that came over here and built the railroad, but you still haven't given me a government agency that sought to prevent the progress of Chinese people. Okay, you haven't done that. Just want to point that out. You haven't done that, right? So let me say something else. Let me say something else. Shit, I done lost the fucking.
I mean,
But
because we've had government agencies that were specifically to help black people, though.
What, like the Freedmen Bureau?
to help them do what?
Well, he just named one, but I
What they
mean,
do?
well, the Freedmen's Bureau,
To do
I'm
what?
pretty sure they was an educational thing. They taught niggas how to read. They explained like the ins and outs of marriage so people would stop fucking like slaves.
Okay, that sounds great, right? It sounds great,
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
bro. Come on, man. Again, you know, we know that America, as far as reparations go, America will pay everybody except niggas. We know that. Okay, and they've done it.
So now wait a minute though.
You don't want to go down that road, but
So
again, we'll be here all night. Go ahead, Rob.
yeah, so the argument that you had, Hood Conservative, for the Japanese internment camps was that the government helped specific groups of Japanese people based on name and how they, all of that, particularly to give them their $20,000, I believe it was, reparation, right?
Right. If you got interned, then you were
wait. My
individually
question is,
making a claim.
what's the problem? What problem do you have with the United States government doing that in other situations? Like, I don't know, people that can trace their lineage back to certain events.
I literally don't. That is my one reparations caveat. If you have an actual chain of events that are documented that you can make a case with, I will never speak against that. The traditional reparation argument, and when people traditionally throw the word reparation out, it's almost always a blanket kind of thing. So like when you tell me the Chinese got reparations, I'm like, really? Which individual Chinese? Like they gave them checks for like building railroads? Like, because here's the thing. You know how many people have to die to dig a hole through a mountain, and you're gonna tell me that they somehow randomly got checks later?
So
Like,
are
you
you
know how
saying
weird
this?
that sounds?
So are you saying this is untrue? Are you saying that
I'm
what
not
Rob
saying
is
it's
saying is
untrue. I
not
want more detail.
okay? But do you think he's making it up?
No, I just want more detail because I don't know how it's supposed to work. And so you saying they got reparations doesn't solve for me the practicalities of where the money came from, who actually received it, and what did it get spent
It came
on.
from the same place the money we send to Ukraine comes from.
Right, the government. Okay, so the state of California cuts a check. All right, who receives this check? Individual Chinese people? I'm like, I'm dead curious now. I really want to know how the fuck that works.
I have all that lined up for part 2.
Right.
All right,
Yeah, let's do
like
that.
I'm not calling you a liar, bro, but I'm like, nah, the devil is always in the details, and I need to know.
there's nothing wrong with you asking that question, bro. I don't have no problem with that. With you asking the question, you know what I'm saying? I would ask if you came with a claim like that. I would ask a question too, just the same way I've been asking questions about stuff that you got to say. It's all good, bro.
Right, because it is kind of a grand claim, and I'm like, all right, well, then there has to be evidence in the trail or whatever. Like there's answers to
But
the questions I would lay out.
I'm a warn you about this though. I'm a warn you about this.
No need, because I'm not saying
Wait,
you're
hold on,
lying.
wait.
I'm just
Let me
like
no, no, no.
shit.
But let
I
me
don't know
just
how it's
warn you
supposed
though.
to work.
Let me just warn you though. It's from that same government that got that CIA that talked about them white supremacists.
All right, listen, bro. Again, if the white supremacists are in there, what
I'm
the
just
fuck are
messing
they
with you, bud. I'm
doing?
just messing with you, bro. I'm just
Nah,
trying to
I
right
get
now. I'm
it,
just
but
trying
like,
to
what are
fight
they
some shit.
doing? But
Tito,
nah, it
check
is
your
getting
email.
late though. It is getting late though.
No,
We gotta get out of here. I gotta get up in the morning.
I had to get that one off on you because you got the burrito shit off on me about the cops in California, so I had to get that. I had to get
Yo,
that.
what I do
Listen,
appreciate.
man, I believe they Mexicans. You told me they was San Jose. I just know they were Mexicans fucking with black people.
I had to get that, bro. I had to get that.
So,
Yeah, keep it 100. This is great though. We gotta do this part 2 sooner or later.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
no doubt,
definitely.
no doubt.
Tito wanted to jump in here, real. I just wanted a quick sound bite from Tito, but we can't. I know we can't be because it's already 3.5 hours. But yeah, man. Oh, there he is. I gotta bring him up. I gotta bring him up. So you got to echo.
Who, me? I got an echo.
Yeah, I think Tito, you got to echo. So
All right,
the
let me
chat,
go.
the chat wanted me to bring up Tito. So Tito is here. So I'm gonna listen because if it's all four of us talk, we're gonna be here another 8 hours. So you got to echo, Tito. I think.
Is it gone now?
Yep, you good, bro.
All right.
Never mind, I lied.
I think if anybody talks besides you, we'll hear it. You're not echoing, but we're echoing from you. You probably got another window open.
I probably got what?
Another window open. You probably got the video open somewhere else.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah. Let me close this up. All right.
Everybody like, bring up Tito. Bring up Tito. Bring up Tito. Bring up Tito.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you just started talking about it. I'll talk to everybody. Let's bring them up. Shit. Listen, and I know I say crazy shit. Half of it just be trolling, and the other half I'm kind of like exploring ideas. So if they think I said something crazy, I'm all for the conversation.
You trolling like Lord of the Rings, nigga.
I won't deny
Wait,
I
did
be
he jump
saying
now?
crazy shit, bro. I won't deny it.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, we good. Hey, look, I'm a mute, right? So I'd say for another good 5-10 minutes, I'm gonna let y'all do. I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. So
Okay.
go
Y'all
ahead,
talking
bro.
about one of my favorite subjects right now, reparations. Y'all talking about one of my favorite subjects right now. I've been on the record as saying that when people with luxurious suntans try to get reparations for past ills, that they probably should try to get it more so for the forced land evictions and for other things, like one of the brothers mentioned in the comment section for convict leasing. A lot of people don't realize that the actual last slave was freed in, I don't know, like early 1942, not 1865, like a lot of people think. I did a video about that too, this past Juneteenth. But yeah, um, that's what people with luxurious suntans should be trying to get reparations for. I mean, with slavery, you will always have the odd Irish slave or indentured servants that somebody argue about. And then one of the main things, the big giant gorilla in the room that a lot of people don't want to mention, when it comes to reparations, is I asked this question before: who pays and who gets it? Because if it's a lot of people passing. It's like hundreds of members of my family that I never get to meet because they've been passing, for generations and everything. So I mean, who pays and who gets it? Because there's a lot of people passing, and that's a big giant
Well,
gorilla in the
Tito,
room.
you know that means white people will automatically be in the line to get some reparations because they had a grandparent who passed at one point, and then just
Yeah,
their bloodlines stay right on that side of the
and that
color line.
and guess what? And guess what? That's a can of worms that a lot of people don't want to open up. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it, but it was actually, and this is hilarious to me. It was actually a police officer in the state of Ohio. I can't remember which town, but he did like the whole genealogy.com thing, and he found out that he was like almost half black. And so then somebody left a watermelon in the squad car the next day, and he actually had to like file an EEOC complaint, and he went to another department. So I
That's
mean that's a can
hilarious.
of
He
that's a
got
Hey,
can of
treated like
worms a
a
lot of
nigga
motherfuckers don't want to open up.
immediately.
maybe
And
the
not to,
boogeyman left it.
and not to mention they got a history of
Boogeyman, y'all.
manipulating stuff like that because again, the Dawes Act, that's how the term $5 Indian came to
Of
be.
course, you have your $5 niggas lining up.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I've been like Ronda Rousey, she'll line up.
So Adrian, shout out to Adrian. He says, when did they ever? He's responding to Slick Rick. When did they ever give reparations to the Tulsans?
Never.
the three
Never.
one of the elders, one of the 100 and I want to say 3-year-old people just recently died,
Right.
and they already threw that case out.
They
Unfortunately,
threw that case out.
They
They
ran
threw
the
that
clock
case
out
out.
on her. Yeah.
I don't think they settled the issue with Henrietta Lax's HeLa cells that those doctors from John Hopkins stole from her either.
No, they
But this,
finally settled that. They threw the family some bread.
Oh,
but
did they?
this,
Okay.
but this
Yeah,
is
they
what I'm
settled it.
talking. This is what I'm talking about, Hood. And we will continue this. This is what I'm talking about, Hood. Where you got every other group that America has paid out reparations to. They won't even pay reparations to the Tulsans, which is a story we know. I dare anybody try to deny Tulsa.
I mean,
I'll
I
react
hear
like
you.
like Yakov Ben Yakov or somebody
I just
for
don't know if it even
denying
matters.
Germany, right? But what I'm saying is, bro, there's really no argument for that. They've paid reparations to everybody else. Why is this special?
One, I
Because you
mean,
said we're not special. So why is this in
no,
they
Wait. Who
I'm
said?
saying that
Wait. Marcus, who
I
said
say
we not special?
I say Black
Who
Americans
said
are
that?
not special in that we went through slavery, as if slavery somehow uniquely makes us like the most downtrodden people in the history of
but
the
why are
world.
they
Like,
paying
no.
reparations to
Wait a minute.
go
Wait,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
excuse me. What makes us a special case is that this is not the slavery that you hear about from the Bible. This is not the slavery that you hear about from the Bible, where maybe the parents would have the status of slaves, but then the children wouldn't carry the status of slaves. This is generational slavery passed from generation to generation. Another thing that makes us a special case is that now in the modern era of money markets and international commerce, we kind of formed damn near the bedrock in international commerce. Of course, the Medici's made up the banking system as we know it now, but who provided, who worked for all of the free capital? That's what makes us a special case, sir.
And then the thing is, it's not even an issue
Yeah,
about being a special case. It's an issue about it's some shit that happened.
black
Like
folk
we
weren't the
basically
only
using the
people.
logic of like niggas get killed every day, b. Niggas with slaves
Yeah,
every day,
niggas get
b.
enslaved every day, B. I mean, sorry, but before
Well,
America was America, like literally niggas get enslaved
okay,
every
so
day.
then
And
you
that
got
applied around the world. It wasn't a
And
okay.
black
So if that's
thing.
the case, then why not use that argument for everybody else you paid out to?
exactly.
But
And more than
everybody in
just
the
slavery
world
happened
doesn't
to
get a
us.
check. No, and not everybody in the world
Bro,
gets a check. The
no,
Excuse
bro,
me,
idea that
sir,
no,
sir,
hold on, let me
sir,
finish my sentence. Let me
sir.
finish my sentence. Let me
trash.
finish my sentence. The idea that you should get a check because your people were enslaved in the past is an
Sir,
American invention.
More
sir,
than just
And then
slavery
sir,
Americans
happened
to
to
do
us.
it. They paying everybody else. If they cut it, if
sir,
look, they cut a check to the American Indian, they cut a check to a few. They cut a check to people that they didn't do shit to. That their fucking suffering didn't even happen here. So
What happened
why?
to
Let
the
me ask you, why are you making a special case for black people, but you're not arguing against
Well, I
all this
mean,
other
one
shit that
I don't believe in the power of reparations. I don't think money's gonna save us. I don't
no,
think
I don't know,
reparations is gonna
bro,
do the thing that people expect it to
that's
do.
not
So
the bro, that's
I
not the
just don't
argument
have
we're
that
But
speaking
no,
about.
emotional attachment to it.
That's not
nobody's looking for salvation. People are looking for
right.
recompense.
Right. That's not the argument. See,
Yeah,
again,
you don't get
Hood, I'm
recompense
gonna
for
tell you,
things that never happened to you
Hood,
though.
you're
There's no
very good
group
at deflection.
recompense, bro.
Hood, you're very good at deflection. I'm just good at calling that shit out because that's not the argument. Because if that was the case, shit, all these other people that got checks cut, did they get saved? Right? Were they looking for salvation? Nobody makes these arguments for everybody that's not niggas.
Not to mention the
Not
white.
only that, sir.
That's
Not only that, sir. After the internment controversies in World War II with the Italians, Germans, and Japanese, even those people who had died in internment camps, or even people who had died after, after the war, the estates, the family still got their money. So what do you mean if it didn't directly happen to you? They still got their money. And please don't try to
All
pretend like
right.
they didn't.
So I mean, what do you want? You want to be paid the value of a slave or something? Like, I don't understand this whole like, what is
bro,
reparations
bro,
supposed to do?
Hood servant.
bro,
It
bro.
sets up it
Again,
sets
it's
up a
all
pattern.
irrelevant. Bro, how about this?
What is what?
Call me, Rob. Rob, if you owe me $5, it won't pay my rent, but it's my fucking money, right?
Okay, so we all get our
Okay, so
15
then
I
bucks,
mean,
then what?
but Marcus,
all this
why
other
does it
shit that
matter?
you
Like,
making
fuck,
arguments about
look,
is irrelevant. At the
but
end of
I
the
Marcus,
don't.
day, you paid everybody else. All right. If you pay the whole workforce on Friday, but you don't pay me, I'm punching you in the mouth.
but Marcus, look,
Fuck
people,
is you mean, man?
people
It's not
foreclose,
gonna
and
save you,
people
Marcus.
don't pay their bills every day, B. So I mean, I'm just not gonna
Right,
pay you, and it is what it is. You ain't
But it's not a
special.
bill. It's just like, all right,
bro. You're
I
separating
looked
black
at
people.
history and I decided you owe me money based
You're
on this
you're
book
made
I
yo,
read in
bro,
history.
bro. All them other people that sued America for their reparations, they got paid. Why are you making a special case for black Americans?
Well, one, reparations for slavery is not the same as reparations. Like the Chinese thing, I'm kind of new on. That's some new shit to me. I
That's the
gotta
hill
look
you
more
want to
into
die
that.
on? Wait a minute. That's the hill you
But
want to
no,
die on?
Typically,
That's the
people
hill you want
compare
to die on. So you
reparations.
telling
No,
me? So you
hold
telling
on.
me that Japanese internment was worse
Right,
than
that's not
slavery?
the same.
That's the
It's
hill you
not the
trying to
same
die on.
situation.
It's not the
It's not
same.
the
You
same
goddamn
Yeah,
right.
it's
It's not
situation.
the
worse.
Well,
same.
It's worse.
for one, let's keep it a
It's
buck. The
worse,
Japanese were fucking war enemies. There was a risk of
bro.
actual. We don't know if y'all niggas want to fight for
You're
your
you're
emperor or
you're right.
not. It's better to lock you the
You're
fuck
right.
up. That
It's
is
not
not
the
the
same.
same as
It's yeah.
being
You're right.
born
It's
into
worse.
anybody can be
If that's the
enslaved. Like
case, then why
up
didn't they
until a
lock up
certain point in
everybody in
time.
Wisconsin then?
It's
No,
If
up
you're
that's the
right.
until a
It's
if that's
certain
the
worse.
point
case,
in
why didn't they
time,
lock
nobody
up
was
everybody in
making a
Wisconsin
moral
then?
argument against slavery, though. Up until a certain point in time, slavery was just what you did if
Why
you
are you
caught a
just focusing
motherfucker
on
slipping.
slavery when there was all these years of Jim Crow,
Drop a
redlining?
nuclear
I
bomb is
mean,
what you did when you caught somebody slipping too, right?
Excuse Mr. Hood Conservative.
We was at
Excuse me,
war, bro. What the fuck?
Mr. Hood Conservative. Mr. Hood Conservative.
It was a war. They
I don't.
lost. Why pay them?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Somebody said that you are descended from somebody that's not from the country, right?
50-50.
50-50. Well, let me tell you something. I'm all the way a nigga, and so was my great grandfather. He
And my
went away to
grandmother
World
was a
War II.
slave.
Wait,
I mean,
wait a
my
minute. Look,
grandmother's
stop, stop,
grandmother
stop.
was a slave. Don't rub your
Okay,
blood against
okay.
mine. That's some bullshit. My
He
grandmother's
went.
grandmother was a slave too. And
Yeah. So let me tell you something. So when he went
my
away
peoples
to
were
Europe,
slaves in the Caribbean too. So, like, this shit is wild.
Hood.
and
now what you
Caribbeans got
saying
their
is
own
wild.
reparation claim called
Yeah,
CARICOM. What are you
yeah.
talking about?
What
They're
you
doing the
saying is
same
I
thing.
ain't
wild.
trying to get nobody free money. I don't believe in this shit. Y'all niggas
But they
trying to
gave,
just extract money from the ether.
but
We're
there's
gonna
been
get
free money handed out. So in that,
If
but
you
it is
want to
still
go
being.
for it,
So
go
wait a minute.
for it.
What
But
about the
don't
free
be
money
mad
they
because
gave
I
out
don't
to the Big
believe in
Three
the
in
logic of it.
2008?
Don't be upset with me because
What
I don't
about the
believe in
what
the
about the
No,
logic
no,
free
of it,
no,
money
bro. If
that
you want to
what
go
about the
for it,
free
go
money
for it.
that
you're making
Chrysler
this.
that
You don't
Chrysler
want to, bro. The
and
only
GM took in
argument is
'08? We
Bro,
give
I
out
don't even
more
know how
corporate
to
welfare in
relate
this
that
country,
shit.
and you complaining about fucking reparations with all of the corporate welfare we give out, with
Well,
all of the
okay.
tax breaks we give out?
I'm
Are you
against
fucking
all right.
corporate
serious?
welfare. Tax breaks is one thing. I'm against corporate welfare. Tax breaks are a different issue, but corporate welfare, that's a whole nother ball of
Yeah,
wax.
what your
Okay.
Republican Party does. a lot of. But I'm gonna just
Nigga,
say
you
this.
run a business too. You want tax breaks, nigga? Shit.
Listen, I'll take them, but that ain't my reason for voting. I took a PPP, nigga. At the end of the day, that ain't what I'm voting for. What I'm saying is, Hood, these arguments are real weak. What I'm telling you is, you can't make an argument against black reparations. Like it's black. Like it's the only time, and this is what I was saying earlier.
Marcus, I just had one question for him, man, and this is what I was leading up to. So I was trying to tell him that my great grandfather went away to World War II. When he came back, you know, the white guys got the GI Bill. They got to have like mortgages to build houses and shit. And so they gave my great grandfather, he was lucky among a lot of niggas they didn't give anything, but they gave him a wooden box with wooden parts to build a house out of, and still over there on 76 Luella. So he should be satisfied with that. He should be satisfied with basically a giant wooden shipping crate with windows on it, while they gave all of the white boys cheap, no interest loans to go get brick homes that their family still got equity in today.
Bro,
he should be satisfied, right? No, hood server. No, it's a yes or no question. Should he be satisfied?
Obviously not. You want to play an emotional card now?
No. That's not an emotional card. It's a simple yes or no question.
Bad deal that makes everything I say right.
It's a simple yes or no question. It's a simple yes or no question, bro.
Screwed over, but does that mean every black person got screwed over?
Okay, then all of them.
No. Yes. I answered your simple. So every black person. So every black person was a slave too.
With all of it, and we're not even talking about slavery. Whoa. We're not even talking about slavery.
Was every black person
We're not even talking about slavery right now.
Everybody got screwed over like their grandfather, but now every black person wasn't a slave.
We're not even talking about slavery. You ever heard of the Homestead Act?
Listen, hold on.
Have you ever heard of the Homestead Act? See, this is why I get niggas like you. Tito. Have you ever heard of the Homestead Act?
We're going on 4 hours, Tito. I can't do this.
Have you ever heard of the Homestead Act? Have you ever heard of the Homestead Act?
We mentioned the Homestead Act earlier. Why do you bring that up? Why do you bring that up?
Do you know that the majority of them people still own their land today and they disenfranchise niggas? Did you know that?
What am I supposed to be like? What do you want me to do? You want me to be mad about that?
No, but you're saying this.
No, I want you to want your fucking humanity like everybody else in this country.
You ain't got to count me as a human because white folk look out for white folk 100 years ago, nigga. What the fuck kind of shit you saying?
Bro, what we're saying is, if the
government that you fucking pay taxes for look out for everybody but your black ass, right? And you don't care.
So are you having a rough time in this country? What do you mean the government look out for everybody but me? Are you having a hard time?
No, are you?
No, so why are we complaining?
It's not about having a hard time. It's about
it's about oh my god.
We get from the government as everybody else. Just because I'm an athlete and I can run at a faster rate than anybody else doesn't mean that I shouldn't have the same access to the same gym, the same protein.
We do. Some niggas are slow naturally. Some niggas gonna fuck up naturally, and we gotta stop acting like. No, we gotta stop acting like because a lot of niggas make bad decisions that somehow somebody holding us back, bro. So are you gonna tell me most black people do what the fuck they gotta do to win?
Bro, that's not the argument.
Are you telling me most black people do what the fuck they gotta do to win? Yes or no? I need a yes or no, gentlemen, please. I need a yes or no. Do most black people do what they gotta do to win? Yes or no?
This is the argument. An event took place, and that event
does most of anybody, bro.
That's it. That's literally
and that's why people are where they are. Stop acting like a bag of money gonna fix that. Stop acting like a bag of money gonna fix that.
This is one of those niggas is just lazy arguments.
Most niggas really are though, and you know it and I know it. That's why we work hard, and that's why we do what we gotta do, because we all know lazy niggas that don't want to have nothing.
Lazy with the sugar cane, lazy with the lumber, lazy with the cotton picking, lazy with the lazy with all of that shit.
Yes, I know what the fuck you talking about.
Lazy with all of that. Yeah, we so lazy.
Then why are you telling us this boogeyman shit in our minds?
Because those are foreigners. Those ain't Americans. Foreigners pick sugar cane.
Hey, look. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right. Yo.
Ain't no American-born nigga picking no sugar cane.
Look, we gonna do this again. Yo, Tito, gotta have you from the beginning on the next one. I'm looking for you. We doing this again. This is gonna be
I have to look at the Bears, man. The Bears actually won. I have to look at them.
I'm with you, but yeah, when the Bears ain't playing, we got to get you up in here from the beginning. And yeah, we out of here is what? It's almost 4. We did this 4 hours. We said it would be 3, but it's 4.
Yeah, y'all was on for the whole time the game was on.
Yeah,
I guess so. Shit,
Damn,
I didn't even
yeah,
think about it.
yeah. So look,
y'all
Hood.
throat got to be dry than the motherfucker.
Bro, I done went through a can of beer, a double shot of vodka.
Check
I
it
heard
out,
you back
man.
there
We,
pouring
Oh, no
up,
wonder
man.
you saying the shit you said. You drunk. Oh, okay.
Oh, nigga, this ain't even drunk. This is not even drunk. My drunk streams,
yo,
I gotta take down.
I just know that niggas go to trolling when they lose in the argument, man. But anyway, we gonna do this. We
Nah.
gonna
Listen, y'all. I don't think y'all really gained no ground until the reparations thing came up. And I'm not even saying you're totally wrong about wanting what you want. I just don't think it's logical. I don't know if it's.
nah.
I think it's an emotional case.
Let me tell you what you
It's
do.
not. It's not an emotional case because it's proven empirical evidence. When you look at the forced land evictions in Forsyth County, Georgia, and by the way, they already got reparations from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. When you look at the forced land evictions in Joplin, Missouri, in Pierce City, Arkansas, and in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there are a whole bunch of viable, empirically backed cases for reparations, bro.
Hood, I'll give you credit.
I'm with you on those
That ain't got
cases,
nothing
though.
to do with slavery. That ain't got nothing
Yeah,
to
I
do with
support
slavery.
that. I've said several times, if you got that kind of argument, I won't ever speak against you.
Hood, I think you did a great job of dodging our questions for 3 hours. You the man for that. And yeah, man, you Floyd Mayweather of the debate, man. You bob and weave and shit. You my nigga though, because
You
we
gotta
asked you a
train for
lot of
this, bro.
shit.
You can't just wake up like this.
Hey man, yo, we out of here, man. Yo, we doing this again.
What about the foundation of the unions before we go?
I don't even know what you talk about no more, man. I'm about to check
You
in.
know
I
what I'm
gotta get
talking
some
about.
sleep. I gotta get up
Yeah,
in the
you know what
morning.
I'm talking about.
We'll
I'll
finish
be
this
back at
another
you.
night, Tito.
Listen,
Okay.
everybody do. Let's do our homework for the next one, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's do our homework. Come full force, get links and everything. We're gonna be sharing shit because
Okay.
my man Hood don't believe us. So yeah, man, we're gonna jump up out of here, man. Hood already dropped down.
Salute to y'all.
All right.
Respect to the panel.
All right, man.
Me on. Nice to meet you, Tito. Hood conservative.
All
Respect.
right, nice to see you.
Yeah,
No doubt. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's jump up out of it. Let me end the stream. Let's jump up out of here. Peace out. 100. Good. Thanks a lot, y'all. Peace.